Chapter 586. As soon as the wind-caller giant finished speaking, it abruptly stomped on the thick layers of dark clouds beneath its feet. The dense dark clouds that covered the sky immediately set off a bone-chilling cold wind. Heaven and earth fell into darkness. Above the azure sea, thousands of winds formed a gigantic tornado. The bottom of the tornado was connected to the surface of the sea, and the top of the tornado was connected to the heavens. It swept towards the ice island where Ning Fan was. This isn't an ordinary wind tribulation. This is the dragon tribulation. Luo Yu exclaimed in surprise in the profound world. The so-called dragon tribulation was a variation of the wind tribulation. It turned the wind into a tornado and greatly increased the power of the wind tribulation. The scale of the wind tribulation this time was originally at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. However, when the chilly wind turned into a tornado, the power of the heavenly tribulation increased tremendously. Even though the power of the heavenly tribulation this time did not reach the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, it was still not comparable to an ordinary first heavenly layer void fragmentation realm heavenly tribulation. The chilly tornado swept towards the island of ice. The layers of mortal void realm formation light on the island were gradually destroyed and dispersed into countless light specks. After the first round of wind tribulation, the outermost 100 layers of tribulation-resisting lightning array lights were almost completely destroyed. Even the middle 100 layers of tribulation-resisting fire array lights were mostly destroyed. Fortunately, Ning Fan had laid down 300 layers of formation light of the Divine Dipper Wind Destruction formation in the innermost layer. Finally, he managed to withstand the first round of heavenly tribulation. Ning Fan frowned when he saw that. It's a very strong wind tribulation. With just 500 layers of formation light, it's impossible to withstand too many wind tribulations. Defending the formation is just waiting for death. As expected, if I want to break through the tribulation, I must take the initiative to attack. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch, took out the one-stripe wind pearl, and put it in his mouth. A faint green light immediately rose around his body. It looked like a thin cocoon of light, but it had a great defensive power against the wind tribulation. After containing the wind-calming bead, Ning Fan immediately took out the formation plate and activated the 300 layers of Divinity Dipper Wind Destruction formation at the same time. At this moment, more than 300 layers of array lights shone brightly, and the haze in the sky was pierced by the green light. The green light condensed into a huge green pocket, and there were more than 300 of them. That bag was the wind extinguishing belt, which could suck in all the violent winds in the sky. Not only could the Divine Dipper Wind Annihilation formation defend against the wind tribulation, but it could also take the initiative to attack. Ning Fan changed his hand seal, and the 300 wind bags sucked the dark clouds and chilly wind into the wind bags at the same time. In just a few breaths, more than 2/3 of the dark clouds in the sky had been sucked away. The originally powerful wind tribulation was directly broken by 2/3 by the 300 layers of formation lights. As half of the wind tribulation was broken, the 300-layered Godly Dipper Wind Annihilation formation's formation light dimmed, and its power was exhausted. With just 300 layers of wind destruction formation light, Ning Fan almost broke the wind tribulation this time. If I had known that the Divine Dipper Wind Annihilation formation was so effective against the wind tribulation, I would have made another 100 to 200 more formation discs. Who knows, I might have been able to directly annihilate all the wind with the formation light. Ning Fan took a step forward and soared into the sky with the wind-calming bead in his mouth. Before the power of the wind-calming bead was exhausted, the remaining 1/3 of the wind tribulation was nothing to fear. He only had to deal with 3 Dao Guardians next. The 3 giants, Call Wind, Qing Shuang and Landslide, were slightly surprised when they saw Ning Fan breaking 2/3 of the wind tribulation with just the formation light. Call Wind's eyes darkened. He activated the remaining wind tribulation clouds and summoned tornadoes of wind. The power of those tornadoes was greatly reduced. As soon as the wind tribulation reached Ning Fan, it was immediately split apart by a sharp sword. Not a single wisp of the wind tribulation could touch Ning Fan's body. This beast has a wind-destroying treasure. The remnant wind tribulation alone won't be able to hurt him. The landslide giant pondered. If that's the case, let's attack together. Killing this beast will be as easy as flipping our hands. The Qingshuang giant took a step forward and directly waved a gigantic fist light at Ning Fan. All of a sudden, heaven and earth froze. The seawater of the Azure Sea within 1 million li was frozen. Avoid fragmentation realm attack, huh? Ning Fan's eyes were filled with intense battle intent. With his current absolute void stage cultivation base, he might be able to withstand a void fragmentation realm attack if he goes all out. After breaking through the bottlenecks of the void pierce stage and absolute void stage consecutively, his spirit sense had improved significantly. His spirit sense, which was originally infinitely close to the origin returning great void stage, had now completely reached the origin returning great void stage. Moreover, it was 10 to 20% stronger than ordinary origin returning great void stage experts. Ning Fan stepped in the sky. His clothes were still as white as snow when he took the first step. At the next moment, his clothes turned as black as ink. Now that he had transformed into his sense soul incarnation, his cultivation base had directly risen to the returning origin great void stage. His 5 fingers reached to the bottom of the deep sea and grabbed the void space within 800,000 li. Then he drew out the earth soul and the void soul and swallowed them. His aura force rose once again, almost reaching the highest peak of the returning origin great void stage. Almost no one below the void fragmentation realm could make his aura force reach such a level. At this moment, Ning Fan could almost be considered as a peak expert among the returning origin great void stage. Ning Fan stopped moving and abruptly took a step in the void space. The hollow space shattered and black waves rushed towards him, forming a massive ocean of void space beneath his feet. Stepping on the ocean of void space, Ning Fan's magic power was endless. He stared at the icy fist light of the Qingshuang giant, and his battle intent skyrocketed. All of a sudden, he lifted his finger and pointed. Incinerate. As soon as he pointed his finger, black flames covered the entire sky. Within the sea of flames, 9 black fire dragons emerged. The 9 dragons dashed towards the icy fist light fearlessly. When the first fire dragon collided with the fist light, it was immediately frozen into ice. The second, third and fourth fire dragons were also frozen into soldiers. However, when it reached the 5th fire dragon, it suddenly self-detonated, burning away 1/3 of the icy fist light. The explosion of the 6th dragon and the 7th dragon finally completely destroyed the icy fist light of the void fragmentation realm attack. The 8th and 9th dragons roared furiously like thunder. They went straight to the sky and collided with the Qingshuang giant furiously. The Qingshuang giant did not expect that Ning Fan actually had the upper hand, even though he had yet to reach the void fragmentation realm. Naturally, he would not be hurt by the remaining 2 black fire dragons. He breathed out a mouthful of green cold qi and froze the 2 dragons. Even so, the Qingshuang giant's expression did not look good. After all, his cultivation base was at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. It was really embarrassing for him to fail to injure a junior at the absolute void stage with a full force attack. He wanted to attack again, but he was stopped by the landslide giant. This bastard has captured Jihua and Purple Lightning one after another. He must not be underestimated. Let's attack together. Let's attack together. At this moment, Call Wind had also calmed down. He could tell how strong Ning Fan was. The Qingshuang giant nodded his head. The 3 giants cast their techniques at the same time. Their powerful magic power waves caused the waves within millions of li of the Qingshuang giants. The wind summoning giant used a magic technique and summoned 12 green wind dragons. The Qingshuang giant used a magic technique, and a gigantic ice hand suddenly appeared in the sky. The landslide giant used a magic technique. Countless shadows of collapsed mountains descended from the sky and pressed down on Ning Fan's head. Ning Fan opened his mouth and withdrew all of his black flames. His eyes were filled with seriousness. Through this confrontation with the Qingshuang giant, he had a better understanding of the gap between him and a void fragmentation realm cultivator. After displaying his full strength, he was almost invincible at the origin returning realm. The grade of his black flames was very high. It greatly restrained the Qingshuang giant, who had an icy body. Even so, Ningfan only gained a slight upper hand in the clash of their attacks. He did not manage to hurt the Qing giant at all. As for the sea of void beneath his feet, it had been depleted by more than half. If it is depleted completely, it would no longer be able to display its inexhaustible power. Ningfan thought to himself that if he were to face giants of other attributes, he might still be at a disadvantage. Of course, he did not use his strongest trump card, and neither did the Qing giant in this confrontation. If he uses all of his trump cards, he might not be able to kill a void fragmentation realm expert for sure, but he would at least be able to severely injure the Qing giant. The current Ningfan was finally getting closer to the void fragmentation realm. When Ningfan saw the three giants unleashing their techniques at the same time, he knew that the combined attack of the three Dao Guardians was no longer something that he could withstand alone. He patted his inventory bag, summoned the Jihua and the purple lightning beasts, then shook the cauldron ring to summon the delicate vine. The moment he summoned one of the two puppets, Ningfan immediately transmitted his voice to his subordinates. The two puppets heard the order and immediately used their fire and thunder divine abilities. When Teng Xianro heard Ningfan's voice, she could not understand the situation at all. She did not know what was going on with the 5 void fragmentation realm giants who were standing in the sky. She also did not know why Ningfan's aura had skyrocketed in just a short period of time. Seeing the magic techniques of the 3 Dao Guardians flying towards her, Teng Xianro knew that this was not the time to ask questions. Thus, she had no choice but to obey Ningfan's command. She brandished her purple vine sword and slashed out countless sword rays to resist the attacks of the 3 Dao Guardians. The divine abilities of the 6 void fragmentation realm experts clashed against each other, causing the vast sky within a radius of nearly 10 million li to shatter. Both sides had 3 experts at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Jihua Violet Lightning, how dare you rebel against the heavens? What punishment do you deserve? The 3 giants, Call Wind, Qing Shuang and Landslide, were immediately enraged when they saw Jihua and Violet Lightning getting in their way. Jihua and Violet Lightning remained silent. They did not care about the 3 Dao Guardians at all. The 2 puppets obeyed Ningfan's order. After blocking the attacks of the 3 Dao Guardians, they immediately turned into 3 rays of light and dashed towards the 3 Dao Guardians respectively. What they needed to do now was to hold the 3 Dao Guardians back. As for Ningfan, he was responsible for sneak attacking the 3 Dao Guardians one by one with the help of the life imprisoning technique. With his current cultivation base, it was not difficult for him to subdue a first heavenly layer void fragmentation realm spiritual puppet with the help of the life imprisoning technique. Ningfan's figure flashed. He wanted to use the heaven deceiving cloak to conceal himself and sneak attack the 3 Dao Guardians. All of a sudden, a gigantic black and white ring shadow appeared in the sky. Its Dao power poured down like ocean waves. A ray of sword light that was half black and half white suddenly pierced out from the black and white ring shadow. Its destructive power was comparable to an attack at the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. The sword light was too fast, forcing Ningfan to be unable to conceal himself. Feeling slightly startled, he hurriedly retreated in the vast sky. Then he immediately patted his sword pouch and ordered the 5 sword spirits. Let's attack together and block this sword light. From Ningfan's point of view, even if the black and white sword light had the destructive power of the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, it would still be difficult for the 5 sword spirits to counter his sword. Little Fanfan, don't be afraid. Humph. Big sisters have already subdued the golden sword. Now big sisters are really powerful. A sword light of this level isn't a match for big sisters at all. Little Fanfan, if you encounter any danger, just ask big sisters for help. Big sisters will protect you. Chie sword cry that sounded like that of a sovereign of swords suddenly came from the storage pouch. At the next moment, a golden sword ray flew out from the sword pouch. It was none other than the Emperor Xia's sword that he had seized from Teng Xianro. The 5 sword spirits possessed the Emperor Xia's sword and activated it. It turned into a golden sword ray and cut the black and white sword light into 2 with just a single slash. The destructive power of the golden sword ray was comparable to an attack from a third heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. After destroying the black and white sword light, the Emperor Xiao's sword flew back under the control of the 5 sword spirits and returned to Ning Fan. Ning Fan was slightly stunned. He did not know that the 5 sword spirits had already subdued the Emperor Xiao's sword while he was breaking through to the next cultivation realm. Humph! Little Fanfan, look. Big sister has helped you to subdue this golden sword with my strength. Humph! It's all second sister's credit that the golden sword can produce sword light. Quick, praise me. Humph! The Emperor's sword essence in the golden sword was simulated by third sister. Humph! Fourth sister has set up a sword formation in the golden sword. Even if it's you, little Fan, you can use this sword as you please. It's me. Tong Tong was very anxious and she stuttered even more. She wanted to tell Ning Fan that the Emperor Xiao's sword was originally unwilling to submit to the 5 of them. It was her who threatened the Emperor Xiao's sword. If the Emperor Xiao's sword refused to submit, she would break it. She had contributed greatly to subduing the Emperor Xiao's sword. However, she could not say it out loud when she was excited. When Ning Fan heard the chatter of the 5 little girls, he could not help but laugh and shake his head. He roughly understood that the 5 little girls had worked together during this period of time, and successfully subdued the Emperor Xiao's sword. This sword was a mid-grade immortal void realm magic treasure. Originally, only 3rd heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivators could use it. Even Ting Xianro would suffer a severe backlash when she uses this sword rashly. Under normal circumstances, if Ning Fan forcefully uses this sword, he would directly suffer severe injuries from the backlash, and he would not be able to activate any of the sword's power. However, after the joint efforts of the 5 little girls, Ning Fan could also use this sword freely even with his current cultivation base. Ning Fan reached out his palm, and held the Emperor Xiao's sword in his hand. Immediately, he felt a mysterious feeling of becoming one with the sword. The moment he held the Emperor Xiao's sword, his aura changed greatly. It was as if he had become an extremely pure sword cultivator, a sovereign of swords. With the help of the 5 sword spirits, he could finally use this sword. The moment he held the Emperor Xiao's sword, a little girl in snow-white robes suddenly walked out from the black and white ring shadows. She looked to be around 11 or 12 years old. She held a black gold sword that was as black as ink in her hand. She had a beautiful face and both of her eyes were pure white. Her body was petite and weak, but her aura force had reached the 2nd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Humph! So you are the devil lord of the rain world, Ning Fan? You sure have guts. If I didn't stop you, were you going to take away all of my last 3 Dao enforcing puppets? How dare you try to take away all of my 5 elemental puppets? You're too despicable. The little girl took a step forward. Her eyes were filled with anger. She raised her black gold sword and pointed it at Ning Fan. I am the Dao spirit of the 1st ring of the heavenly Dao in the lower world. My name is Life and Death. The reason why I'm here today is to teach you a lesson. Teach me a lesson? Ning Fan revealed a playful look. He had already vaguely guessed that the person who repeatedly sent heavenly tribulations on him was the little girl in white robes and holding a black sword in front of him. Without saying a word, he held the Emperor Xiao's sword in his hand and slashed at the little girl across the sky. As soon as he slashed his sword, the sky cracked and the azure sea was split into 2. The sword light of the sword was as dazzling as the golden sun. It was filled with the might of a sovereign among swords, as if a sword sovereign of a generation was personally wielding his sword. Ning Fan's magic power was nearly depleted by the Emperor Xiao's sword when he slashed his sword. Even with the help of the sword formation, it only consumed such a small amount of his magic power. However, the power of this sword made him feel extremely satisfied. That gigantic golden sword light traveled across the vast sky of 1,000,000 li in just an instant. The speed of the sword light was unimaginably fast. When the sword was slashed, it went straight at the little girl in white robes. Under the might of the sword, the little girl's spiritual body actually trembled uncontrollably. She could tell that the sword light was too powerful. It had reached the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. It made her face turn pale with fright. She did not know how to block it. She was just a Dao spirit who drank tea, descended tribulations and slept. How could she have any profound experience in fights of magic power? This sword light was clearly the same sword light that destroyed her black and white sword technique. She could not withstand this sword light at all. If she takes it head-on, she would either die or be severely injured. Why you? You're cheating. You have just broken through to the absolute void stage. How could you possibly use a magic treasure of this level and produce a sword light of this level? I don't want to fight you anymore. I hate you. The little girl's face was filled with fear. With a shake of her body, she turned into an auspicious bird that was half black and half white, and flew back to the heavenly Dao ring shadow at an extremely terrifying speed. At the next moment, the ring shadow disappeared. She actually ran away without even caring about the 3 Dao enforcing puppets. It doesn't matter if I lose the puppets. I'll just ask someone to make a few more in the future. She was the little dumb bird who appeared in the Palm Calamity Palace that day. She was the Dao spirit of the heavenly Dao of the lower worlds who had repeatedly delivered tribulations to Ningfan originally. She wanted to personally teach him a lesson. However, she did not expect him to have such a powerful golden sword. The might of that sword was comparable to an attack at the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. She was not his match at all. So she decisively ran away. She came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Did he run away? Ningfan could naturally tell that this Dao spirit of the heavenly Dao had a very weak temperament. He just had the mentality of a child and could not be frightened easily. As such, he used Emperor Xiao's sword to strike at her, and as expected, he managed to scare the little girl away. What delighted him was the power of Emperor Xiao's sword. He didn't expect that the 5 sword spirits would be able to subdue Emperor Xiao's sword for him to use. From this moment on, Emperor Xiao's sword would definitely become his strongest trump card. The might of that single sword strike was comparable to an attack at the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. It was powerful enough to severely injure an old monster at the 2nd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, and instantly kill a 1st heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator. Of course, Emperor Xiao's sword had almost used up all of his qi. When facing an enemy, it could only be used as a last resort. If he missed, it would be a huge loss. What made him speechless was that the heavenly Dao that had been giving him trouble all this while was actually just a little girl who ran away in fear. This was somewhat different from the image of the majestic and cold heavenly Dao that he had imagined. This time, he managed to scare the little girl Dao spirit away. Next time, he did not know if this little girl would still dare to cause trouble for him. Ningfan cleared his mind and kept Emperor Xiao's sword. Then he took out a pill and consumed it, recovering some of his magic power. His figure flashed. He used the heaven-deceiving cloak to conceal himself, and approached the 3 Dao guardians. Without the interference of the Dao spirit, it was not difficult to subdue the 3 Dao guardians. At that moment, the 3 Dao guardians were greatly shocked. They never expected that their master would be chased away by Ningfan's sword after coming here personally. The destructive power of Ningfan's sword was too terrifying. If he uses this sword to deal with the 3 Dao guardians before this, he could kill one of them with a single strike. Tung Xianro covered her red lips with a shocked expression. At this moment, she was even more convinced that Ningfan was a void fragmentation realm sword cultivator, whose cultivation base had fallen. Moreover, he was at least at the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. If that was not the case, how could Ningfan use Emperor Xiao's sword? Moreover, the way he wielded the sword was completely comparable to the 3 sword sovereigns of the sword world. Being the servant of a sword sovereign at the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm doesn't seem to be particularly sullen. Tung Xianro comforted herself. She suddenly felt that this kind of life of being captured was actually quite interesting. 1 hour later, the 3 giants, Call Wind, Qing Shuang and Landslide, knelt in the sky at the same time. Their eyes were empty as they submitted to Ningfan. The corner of Ningfan's mouth curved slightly. Now, I have 3 more void fragmentation realm spiritual puppets. It's almost time for me to return to the Nether Luo clan. However, before I return, it seems like I need to consume a void reinforcing pill to stabilize my absolute void stage. Chapter 587. On the island of ice in the Azure Sea, Ningfan consumed a void consolidating pill. After meditating for a few days, He completely stabilized his absolute void stage cultivation base with the power of the pill. After stabilizing his cultivation base, his speed reached the grand virtual realm. After summoning the 8 wings of black flame, his speed was close to the grand virtual realm, allowing him to travel 500,000 li in one go. Ning Fan turned into a ray of escaping light made of black flames and flew across the azure sea. His aura force became even more restrained. This time, when he broke through to the Taishi realm, he opened up the first divine orifice of the ancient gods, cultivated the divine blood of royalty, and severed his own heart for 100,000 years. After experiencing the pain of her heart being severed for 100,000 years, the firmness of her Tao heart was unimaginable. He turned into a streak of light and flew back to the Azure Frost Kingdom. When he returned to the Azure Frost Kingdom, the sifting bamboo ocean's formation was only 1/3 complete. Outside the bamboo ocean, the 8 patriarchs of the 8 clans of the Grey Frost Azure had been waiting outside the bamboo ocean for a long time. With the extermination of the Snow Pine clan and the other 3 clans, there were only 8 clans left of the 12 Azure Frost clans. Among the 8 clans, only 3 of them had old ancestors at the Absolute Void stage. The remaining 5 old ancestors were only at the Void Pierce stage. Among the 8 patriarchs, there was Patriarch Wei Feng of the Wei Zi clan and Grand Elder Qin Shuangzi of the Qin Nan clan. The 8 of them wore respectful expressions and didn't hold any weapons. They didn't come here with ill intentions and merely wanted to befriend the Underworld Raja clan and discuss some matters. They had been waiting here for several days to meet Ning Fan. Since Ning Fan was not in the bamboo ocean, he naturally would not meet them. As for them, they did not dare to trespass the bamboo ocean without permission. This Liu Bei is just a void inquiry stage cultivator. Even if he could single-handedly eliminate the 4 clans of the Snowpine clan, his combat strength would at most be at the Gui Yuan Taishi stage. Isn't he a little too arrogant? We, the old ancestors of the 8 forefathers, have come to see him, but he actually avoided us and left us hanging here for a few days. Old ancestor Yulo of the Jade Tree race snorted in dissatisfaction. He was a grand virtual realm cultivator. Fellow Taoist Jade Tower, be careful with your words. You should know that the more you say, the more mistakes you make. Qin Shuangzi reminded him with a smile. Ancestor Wei Feng shook his head and said to Ancestor Yu Shu, Liu Bei's divine art isn't something an ordinary origin returning great void cultivator can compare to. You haven't seen it with your own eyes, so of course you're not afraid. Old ancestor Yu Lu was wary of Ning Fan's reputation. Thus he did not dare to say anything more. At this moment, a ray of traveling light suddenly flew over from the outside of the sea of bamboos. It approached from afar, and turned into the figure of a young man in white robes. He descended to the ground. As soon as he saw the 8 old men standing outside the sea of bamboo, Ning Fan's eyes remained unmoved. He scanned across the 8 of them, and saw the emblem of the 8 clans of the Cold Azure clan embroidered on their robes. Immediately he knew their identities. Underworld Luo Bei greets fellow Taoists from the Cold Azure Nation. His tone was neither arrogant nor humble. It was just a plain tone. Although his tone was calm, the hidden Taishu aura on his body slightly dissipated. Wei Feng, Qin Shuangzi, and the other patriarchs were shocked when they sensed the aura of the Taishi realm. Isn't this Liu Bei a void inquiry stage cultivator? When did he become an absolute void stage cultivator? So this person is an old monster of the great void realm. No wonder he could single-handedly wipe out the 4 races of the Snow Pine realm. He must not be far from successfully returning to his origin. Shock appeared in Ancestor Yulo's eyes. After he sensed Ning Fan's absolute void stage chi, he immediately secretly spread out his spirit sense, trying to probe Ning Fan's background. His spirit sense was not weak. It was even 3 times stronger than an ordinary absolute void stage cultivator. However, when his spirit sense scanned Ning Fan's body, it immediately disappeared without a trace, like a clay ox entering the sea. Ancestor Yulo's eyes were filled with shock. He did not say anything. However, the way he looked at Ning Fan no longer had a trace of dissatisfaction. Instead, there was only politeness. Fellow Taoist Liu, you don't have to be so courteous. We, the old ancestors of the 8 clans, have come here to discuss some matters with you. Wei Feng politely cupped his fists and returned the greeting. I see. Since all of you have something to discuss with me, why don't we move to see Luo City and discuss it there? Ning Fan said. That's great. The 8 old ancestors followed Ning Fan into the Sea of Bamboo and entered Sea Luo City. What they wanted to discuss was the division of power in the Cold Azure Nation in the next tens of thousands of years. After the 4 races of the Snow Pine clan were annihilated, there were only 8 Void Refinement Realm clans left in the Cold Azure Nation. As for the underworld Luo clan, which had Ning Fan as its leader, it was undoubtedly qualified to become the Cold Azure clan. With the destruction of the 4 clans and the rise of the Ming Luo clan, the change of power in the Cold Azure Nation was naturally huge. Ning Fan had already decided to bring the entire Sea Luo Bamboo Sea with him. Naturally, he would also bring the Ming Luo clan back to the Rain World. Therefore, he actually did not care much about the division of power in the Cold Azure Nation in the future. He did not have any objection to any suggestion of the 8 old ancestors to divide the power of the Cold Azure Nation. After he destroyed the 4 clans of the Snow Pine clan, the territories of the 4 clans naturally fell into the hands of the Ming Luo clan. The old ancestors of the 8 clans wanted to pay a certain price to get some of the subsidiary forces and territories of the 4 clans from Ning Fan. Ning Fan agreed to their request, and even sold all the subsidiary forces and territories of the 4 clans to the 8 clans. Anyway, he would not stay in the Cold Azure Nation. What was the use of those things? After the transaction, the 8 clans paid Ning Fan 50 billion immortal jade, and 8,000 Dao crystals in total. After that, the 8 old ancestors stayed in Sea Luo City, and exchanged their cultivation experiences with Ning Fan for a few days. After that, they left with satisfaction. After sending the 8 old ancestors away, Ning Fan sent his spirit sense into his storage pouch. After counting the number of Dao crystals in it, he sighed softly. Currently, the number of Dao crystals he had was about 30,000, which was equivalent to 150 billion immortal jade. Dao crystals were the currency of the 4 heavens. However, they also had another use. Ning Fan had once obtained the origin returning technique of the Rain Ancestor, and many other types of origin returning technique in the Rain Palace. All of the origin returning technique had one thing in common. In order to achieve the origin returning technique, one would need to devour a large number of Dao crystals. The origin returning technique of the Great Void Stage was far stronger than ordinary Great Void Stage cultivators. The so-called origin returning technique referred to converting 60 units of magic power into origin returning technique by absorbing the power of the Dao crystals. Theoretically speaking, an ordinary Great Void Stage cultivator could begin the process of origin returning technique after cultivating up to 36 million units of magic power. After that, they would be able to break through to the void fragmentation realm. After that, the more origin returning technique one possessed, the higher their chances of breaking through to the void fragmentation realm would be. In order to achieve the origin returning technique, one would need to devour a large number of Dao crystals. Each Dao crystal could provide 1,000 units of magic power. If a Great Void Stage cultivator with 36 million units of magic power wants to achieve the origin returning technique, he would need to devour 36,000 Dao crystals, which was equivalent to 180 billion immortal jade. As for the origin returning technique of the Great Void Stage cultivator, with 36 million units of magic power, he would need to devour 36,000 Dao crystals, which was equivalent to 180 billion immortal jade. If the origin returning technique of the Great Void Stage cultivator had stronger magic power, he would need to consume more Dao crystals. Origin returning technique was a crucial step in breaking through to the void fragmentation realm. It was extremely costly. Normally, only major forces with strong foundations would have enough financial resources to nurture a origin returning technique of the Great Void Stage. Ning Fan fell into deep thought. Now that he had just broken through to the Absolute Void Stage, his magic power was at 1 million units. It was not the time for him to achieve the origin returning technique yet. According to his plan, he would only start to achieve the origin returning technique after he had at least 70 to 80 million units of magic power to break through the bottleneck of the void fragmentation realm. If that is the case, he would need to prepare at least 70 to 80,000 Dao crystals to devour them. From today onwards, he could no longer squander the Dao crystals casually. He summoned the 7 Ming Luo priests including Qing Dai, and told them about his plan to take away the entire thought-sifting bamboo sea. Qing Dai had already heard from her master that Ning Fan was going to take away the entire thought-sifting bamboo sea. As for the 6 priests, it was the first time they heard such a shocking news. Their faces were filled with astonishment, but they did not raise any objections. The grand formation was still in full swing. According to the agreement he had with Guang Hanzi, he would erase Ji Hua and Ji Dian's memories, and let them go after he has successfully healed them. After that, Ning Fan personally guided the members of the Nether-Sifting clan to set up a massive formation light that covered the entire sea of Sea Luo bamboo. Half a month later, the formation was successfully set up. Night fell. This was the last night that Ning Fan would stay in the Azure Cold Country. It was also the last night that the members of the Ming Luo clan would stay in the country. The formation was a wood elemental formation, so its power was affected by sunlight. At noon tomorrow, when the sun was at its brightest, it would be the time to take away the entire sifting bamboo sea. On this night, Ning Fan was walking alone within the boundary of the Sea Luo bamboo sea which spanned 4 million li. He was checking every formation eye and formation marks for the last time to see if there were no mistakes in the arrangements. He walked in the bamboo forest under the moonlight. Suddenly he stopped and his eyes narrowed. Suddenly, a middle-aged man clad in bamboo armor walked out from behind a row of Xiangfei bamboos. This burly man had an extraordinarily dignified appearance. His gaze was extremely sharp, and there was a hidden might of an emperor hidden within him. He didn't reveal any of his aura, but it was as deep as the sea. His entire body was surrounded by a lingering bamboo intent. That bamboo intent had reached the 2nd grade. Ning Fan carefully observed this person, and inwardly judged that this person's aura force was not any weaker than the Rain Sovereign's. He was most likely a cultivator at the 5th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm. Judging from the various signs, the identity of this person was obvious. Ming Luo Lu Bei greets the Bamboo Sovereign. May I know why the Bamboo Sovereign has come to visit the Azure Cold Country? Ning Fan's tone was neither humble nor arrogant. The hidden might of an emperor perfectly blocked the might of the middle-aged man. He secretly guessed the purpose of the Bamboo Sovereign's visit, but he did not show any fear. Now that he had the 5 elemental puppets and Tung Xianro and Luo Yu's help, he could use Emperor Xiao's sword freely with the help of the 5 sword spirits. Even if he might not be a match for the Bamboo Sovereign who was at the 5th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm, he had enough strength to protect himself and escape from the Bamboo Sovereign. Ning Fan was naturally not afraid that the Bamboo Sovereign would harm him. Moreover, the Bamboo Sovereign did not show any hostility. You have good eyesight. I am the Sovereign of the Eastern Tree Sea. The reason why I came to you today is because I have a few questions to ask you. The Bamboo Sovereign's expression was cold and dignified. It was as if he never smiled. The first question: are you a cultivator of the rain world? As soon as Ning Fan heard the Bamboo Sovereign's question, he knew that his identity had most likely been seen through by the latter. Thus he answered honestly, "That's right." The Bamboo Sovereign nodded his head and continued to ask. The second question: what are your intentions in entering the tree world? Originally, I entered the tree world to visit the Fire Tree clan and soak in the Zhurong Spring. However, now I have another purpose. I want to collect the ancestral tree fruits to break through to the 1st grade rain intent. Ning Fan did not need to hide this question. He originally wanted to obtain some ancestral tree fruits from the Bamboo Palace. Now that he had met the Bamboo Sovereign, he naturally had to mention it. I see. You originally wanted to go to the Fire Tree clan in the Western Tree Sea. However, you offended the Vine Sovereign. Thus, you gave up on going there and came to my Eastern Tree Sea to search for the ancestral tree fruits to improve your rain intent. Now that your rain intent is only at the 3rd grade, you've turned to search for the ancestral tree fruit. Judging from your motive, you're no threat to my Eastern Tree Sea. As long as you pose no threat to the Eastern Tree Sea, I won't do anything to you. As for the Tree Father fruit, it was a treasure of the Bamboo Hall, and there were not many of them. It is extremely difficult to break through to the first grade, and the number of ancestral tree fruits required is not something you can imagine. As you can see, I haven't broken through the first grade intent realm, because the remaining ancestral tree fruits in Bamboo Palace aren't enough to break through the first grade intent realm. However, if you are willing to help me do something, I can give you enough ancestral tree fruits to help your rain intent break through to the second grade. We'll talk about this later. I still have a question for you. The Bamboo Sovereign's words made Ningfan feel slightly disappointed. Initially, Ningfan wanted to break through to the first grade rain intent with the help of the ancestral tree fruit. Now, it seemed like it would be difficult for him to fulfill his wish. He could look forward to a second grade rain intent, but he needed to find another way to obtain a first grade rain intent. The third question: are you going to bring Ancestor Yu Huang to the rain world? The Bamboo Emperor's gaze suddenly darkened. Ningfan offending the Vine Sovereign had nothing to do with him. Thus he could ignore it. Ningfan annihilated the 4 clans of the Snowpine clan, because they deserved it. Thus he could ignore it. However, Ningfan was trying to take away the remnant soul of the Bamboo Hall's ancestor. It was reasonable for the Bamboo Sovereign to interfere in this matter. The reason why the Bamboo Sovereign came to the Azure Cold Country this time was to stop Ningfan's plan to take Yu Huang away. Ningfan's eyes darkened. The reason he took Yu Huang away was to let Mu Luo and Yu Huang reunite. If the Bamboo Sovereign interferes, he only needs to wave his hand to destroy the Grand Formation. Then, Ningfan would not be able to take Yu Huang away. That's right. I am indeed going to bring Senior Yu Huang to the Rain World. However, I have already obtained his consent. Moreover, it is to fulfill his long-cherished wish. Is this the intention of Ancestor Yu Huang? The gloominess in the Bamboo Sovereign's eyes slowly faded. Under the moonlight, a beautiful woman in green robes slowly appeared in front of the Bamboo Sovereign. She was Yu Huang. That's right. This is my intention. I'm the one who asked Liu Bei to bring me to the Rain World. As your ancestor, going to the Rain World is my long-cherished wish. Are you trying to stop me? Yu Huang's eyes were filled with a hint of sharp questioning. If Ancestor wants to go to the Rain World, I certainly won't dare to stop you. When the Bamboo Sovereign faced Ningfan, he did not show any extra expression. However, when he faced Yu Huang, he showed a respectful expression and cupped his fists respectfully. One should never forget one's ancestors. Even though he was the high and mighty Bamboo Sovereign, he did not dare to disobey his ancestor. At first, he wanted to stop Ningfan from taking Yu Huang away. However, if this was Yu Huang's wish, he would not dare to stop him. Very well. Tomorrow noon, I will leave Hansong with Liu Bei. Before that, I don't wish for any unforeseen events to happen. Yu Huang gave an order in a dignified manner. Then his illusory body slowly faded into the bamboo forest and disappeared. After Yu Huang left, the Bamboo Sovereign wore a complicated expression. He gave Ningfan a deep look and said, "If you want the ancestral tree fruit, come to Muyi country." Now, the ancestral bamboo in Muyi country has contracted a strange disease. I'm preparing to send out invitations to all the high-grade pill refinement masters in the entire tree world to solve the problem. The ancestral bamboo is the divine tree that grows the ancestral tree fruit. I noticed that your medicine soul isn't weak. You should be a 6th revolution pill refinement master. There aren't many 6th revolution pill refinement masters in the tree world. There are only 15 of them. I don't know how many of them are willing to come. If you can come to Muyi country and help me cure the strange disease of the ancestral tree, I will give you enough ancestral tree fruit to help you break through to the 2nd grade. Muyi country was the tree capital of the Eastern Tree Sea. It was where the Bamboo Hall was located. As soon as the Bamboo Sovereign finished speaking, he turned around and left. His figure gradually disappeared into the dim night sky. Ningfan looked at the direction where the Bamboo Sovereign left and fell into deep thought. At noon the next day, Ningfan kept the entire Mingluo bamboo sea into his blood umbrella magic treasure with the power of the Grand Formation. A few days later, the news of the sudden disappearance of the entire Mingluo bamboo sea shook the entire Blue Cold Country. The 8 clans of the Blue Cold Country were shocked. They immediately reported the matter to the Bamboo Hall. The old ancestors of the 8 clans knew that the Mingluo bamboo sea had a great origin. and it had been protected by the bamboo hall for countless years. Thus, they naturally did not dare to neglect it. When the news spread to the bamboo hall, it caused a huge commotion. Many people requested to investigate the matter, but they were all rejected by the bamboo sovereign. This matter is not to be discussed anymore. No one dared to disobey the bamboo sovereign's order. Thus, the disappearance of the Ming Luo bamboo sea was left unsettled. 10 days later, Ningfan appeared in Muyi country in the central region of the Eastern Tree Sea. As soon as he entered the country, he sensed that he was being followed. The cultivator who was following him was from the Baili clan of Muyi country. Chapter 588. In Muyi country, the sea of bamboos stretched as far as the eye could see. Ningfan turned into a ray of light and flew above the sea of bamboos. He had already sensed that there were cultivators following him as soon as he entered my country. Even though those cultivators had concealed themselves, they could not hide from Ningfan's spirit sense at all. The clan insignia on their clothes showed their identity. They were all cultivators of the Baili clan. There were a total of 3 people who came. Among them, 2 were Void Glimpse stage experts while the other was Void Inquiry stage. The cultivation of these 3 people might not be high, but each of their bodies exuded an extremely strong baleful aura. They were all invincible in the same realm. These 3 people were carefully trained assassins of the Baili clan. After Ningfan entered 1 million li of Muyi country, he immediately stopped moving and hovered above the sea of bamboos. He turned around and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He said to the clouds behind him, "Why are you following behind me?" As soon as Ningfan finished speaking, the flowing cloud behind him did not move at all. It seemed like the 3 hidden assassins did not intend to expose themselves. Ningfan did not say another word. He took a step forward and stepped on the vast sky with great force. After he took that step, the sky within 500,000 kilometers suddenly trembled, and behind the clouds, 3 men immediately fell out in a sorry state. All 3 of them were clad in blood-colored armor, and each of them was riding on an illusory blood tiger. The blood tiger was a divine ability unique to the Baili clan. By transforming the blood tiger into a mount, it could greatly increase the speed of the clansmen. "We've been discovered. Kill him." Even though Ningfan had seen through them, the 3 of them did not seem surprised at all. Instead, their expressions remained cold and indifferent. The 2 Void Glimpse stage assassins urged the blood tigers they were riding on. Each of them held a blood-colored banner and waved it abruptly. Immediately, the vast sky was filled with bloody light which reeked of blood. After releasing the blood light, the 2 Void Glimpse stage assassins lost their life force rapidly. Their faces aged rapidly. The Void Inquiry stage assassin leaped down from the blood tiger and into the blood light. He formed a seal with his 10 fingers and suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood essence. Then he fiercely absorbed the blood light in the sky. Unlike the 2 Void Glimpse stage assassins, this Void Inquiry stage assassin's aura force rose sharply after he swallowed the blood light. His aura force, which was originally unrivaled among Void Inquiry stage cultivators, rose to the Void Pierce stage at this moment. "Kill!" the Void Inquiry stage assassin shouted coldly. He took a step forward and 4 Void Inquiry stage blood shadow clones suddenly separated from his body. Each of them held a magic treasure and rushed towards Ningfan at the same time like rays of light. Ningfan's eyes turned slightly cold. This Void Inquiry stage assassin's abilities were not weak. With this secret technique that could raise his cultivation base and his 4 Void Inquiry stage clones, even ordinary Void Pierce stage experts would not be his match. Unfortunately, this Void Inquiry stage assassin was still not Ningfan's match. Ningfan lifted one of his feet, and a sea of void immediately appeared beneath his feet. He lifted his finger and pointed. 1 million lesser void swords swept across the sky. With just a single move, he killed all 4 of the blood shadow clones of the Void Inquiry stage assassin. The Void Inquiry stage assassin's eyes were filled with shock. Only then did he realize that the cultivation level of the assassin this time did not match the information he received. According to the information, Ningfan was just a Void Inquiry stage cultivator. Ningfan, on the other hand, was stepping on his void sea of qi. His absolute void aura force was soaring. He was obviously an absolute void stage-old monster. He wanted to escape, but it was too late. Millions of lesser void swords slashed down, and he screamed as he perished in the rain of void swords. As for the other 2 void glimpse stage assassins who had aged, they also died under the little void sword. With Ning Fan's current cultivation base, he could instantly kill a void pierce stage expert with just a raise of his hand. The blood light and sword shadows that filled the sky faded away. The vast sky gradually turned silent. Ning Fan looked at the empty sky and frowned slightly. When he used the lesser void swords, he avoided the vital dantions of the 3 assassins, intending to kill their primordial spirits and demon souls to search their souls and memories. However, after the 3 assassins died, there was no primordial spirit or demon soul left behind. They did not even leave behind a storage pouch. It was really strange. Did I use too much force and accidentally kill their primordial spirits under the rain of swords? Ning Fan pondered for a moment. Then he turned around and was about to leave. At this moment, 3 rays of blood light suddenly appeared at the place where the 3 assassins died. The 3 rays of blood light merged into one and turned into a blood-red battle invitation. Ning Fan bent his palm and waved, drawing the battle invitation into his hand. There was only one word written in blood and ink on the battle invitation. Die. This was the second battle invitation that the clan leader of the Bai Li clan gave to Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with contemplation. This jade slip was formed from 3 traces of blood light. The 3 traces of blood light were planted in the bodies of 3 assassins. Only when all 3 of them die would the blood light condense into the second letter of challenge. Could it be that the clan leader of the Bai Li clan already knew that Ning Fan had the strength to kill the 3 assassins? Was that why the clan leader planted 3 rays of blood light in the bodies of the 3 assassins, and left a second battle invitation behind? However, there were some parts that did not make sense. Since the Bai Li clan sent 3 assassins to assassinate Ning Fan, they naturally had the intention to kill him. If the clan leader of the Bai Li clan already knew that Ning Fan would not be killed by the 3 assassins, why would he send the 3 assassins to their deaths? The wisest move would be to send stronger cultivators to kill Ning Fan instead of taking the unnecessary step of leaving a second battle invitation. What was the meaning of this second battle invitation? Could it be that he wanted to show off to Ning Fan again, telling him that if the Bai Li clan wants to kill him, he should just wash his neck and wait for his death? As the leader of the clan, would the clan leader of the Bai Li clan do such a brainless thing? The actions of the clan leader of the Bai Li clan were extremely illogical. Ning Fan kept the second battle invitation, and his eyes narrowed slightly. There was something strange about this Bai Li clan. It seemed like the Bai Li clan did not simply want to kill him. Instead, they seemed to be plotting something. The reason why the clan leader of the Bai Li clan sent out 2 unreasonable battle invitations in succession seemed to be to purposely arouse Ning Fan's suspicion. Instead of saying that it was a threat, it was more like he was hinting at something. Interesting. I would like to see what exactly the Bai Li clan is plotting against me. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curled upwards. He was not afraid of the Bai Li clan at all. He had the 5 elements heavenly tribulation puppet, Luo Yu and Tung Xianrou's help and Emperor Xia's sword. In the tree world, other than the 3 tree sovereigns, Ning Fan was not afraid of any other cultivators. Qi Ning Fan's figure flashed and turned into a ray of light, flying towards the capital of the Muyi country. The Muyi country was a few times bigger than an ordinary void-grade cultivation country. There were a total of more than 400 cultivation cities in the country. There were more than 300 members of the tree clan residing in the country. Among them, there were a total of 23 tree clans that had void refinement realm experts. As for the tree clan that had great void refinement realm experts, there were a total of 7 of them. The Bai Li clan was the strongest clan in the Muyi country. Of course, the force that was even stronger than the Bai Li clan was the Bamboo Hall. In the Bamboo Hall, other than the Bamboo Sovereign, there were also the 8 elders of the Bamboo Forest. All of them were void fragmentation realm old monsters, and old demon Fusang was one of them. The main hall of the Bamboo Hall was located in the Jishui city of the Muyi country. Ning Fan flew all the way, passing through countless cultivation cities. Finally, he stopped outside the Jishui city. It was a city that was rarely seen in the tree world. The area within 1,000,000 li was covered with a green water body. It was called Jishui City. Countless gigantic Xiangfei bamboos stood in the water body. According to legends, Jishui City was the place where the bamboo ancestor passed away. The Xiangfei bamboos that grew in the water body were all transformed from the bamboo ancestor's soul. In the sky above the water body, there was a floating city that was enshrouded in green qi. It was none other than Jishui City. At this moment, the bamboo sovereign had already issued an order to the entire tree world, summoning all the pill refinement masters in the world to come to Muyi country to treat the ancestral bamboo. Traveling lights could be seen flying towards Jishui City at any time in the sky. Most of them were famous pill refinement masters in the tree world, who had come to treat the ancestral bamboo. Most of these pill refinement masters belonged to the Eastern Tree Sea. Of course, there were also pill refinement masters from the Northern, Western and Southern Tree Seas. During this period of time, the entrance inspection of Jishui City had become extremely strict. Other than Fifth Revolution pill refinement masters who had the right to enter the city directly, even absolute void stage cultivators had to go through a strict inspection before they were allowed to enter the city. Ning Fan pondered inwardly. Since the Eastern Tree Sea was summoning pill refinement masters from all over the world, many cultivators from other tree seas had entered the Eastern Tree Sea. He was not sure if the Vine Sovereign's subordinates had followed the crowd and entered the Eastern Tree Sea to assassinate him. Moreover, the Vine Sovereign's subordinates might have already infiltrated Jishui City and were waiting to kill him. If that was the case, he needed to be more cautious during his trip to Jishui City. Ning Fan stepped on the traveling light and flew towards the city in the sky. As soon as he arrived outside the city gate, a group of guards wearing bamboo armors immediately blocked his way with their spears. Stop right there. Except for Fifth Revolution pill refinement masters who can enter the city directly, all cultivators who enter the city will have to undergo the inspection of our bamboo hall to verify their identities. The weakest of the guards was a soul formation cultivator, and their leader was a great void stage old monster. This person's gaze was extremely arrogant, and his status in the bamboo hall was not low. He was a descendant of the bamboo hall's third elder. He was sitting high above the city gate tower of Jishui City, and he was not even willing to personally go down to the city to receive Ning Fan. How arrogant! Even though he could sense Ning Fan's hidden absolute void qi, he did not intend to accommodate him. He did not have the intention to let Ning Fan enter the city directly. This time, Bamboo Emperor was recruiting alchemists from all over the world. Many great void old monsters came to Jishui City to join in the fun. There were great void old monsters coming to Jishui City every day. The higher the cultivation base of an old monster, the more strict the identity check would be to prevent these people from sneaking into Jishui City and causing trouble. This was the order of the third elder of Bamboo Palace. Your cultivation isn't weak, but as long as you're not an alchemist, you must allow us to verify your identity. Commander Tai Su said coldly. I am a pill refinement master. The reason why I came to Jishui this time is to treat Zuzhu. Ning Fan replied indifferently. Oh, you're a pill refinement master? In that case, let's test the level of your pill refinement mastery on this soul steel. If your pill refinement mastery has reached the Fifth Revolution, you can enter Jishui City directly. I won't stop you then. When Commander Tai Su heard that Ning Fan was a pill refinement master, he stood on the city gate tower and pointed at a gigantic six-colored ancient steel outside the city gate. This six-colored ancient steel could test one's pill refinement mastery from the first to the sixth revolution. The highest one could test one's mid-grade 6th Revolution pill refinement mastery. Ning Fan did not say much. He slowly approached the six-colored ancient steel and placed his palm on it. Immediately, he felt a mysterious feeling of his medicine soul merging with the steel. He did not plan to conceal his high-grade 6th Revolution pill refinement mastery after entering Jishui City this time. Even though he was an absolute void stage cultivator, absolute void stage cultivators were just ants in the eyes of void fragmentation realm old monsters like the Bamboo Emperor. However, if the void fragmentation realm old monsters in the Bamboo Palace knew that his pill refinement mastery had reached the 6th revolution, and it was even a high-grade 6th revolution pill refinement master, no one would dare to underestimate him. A low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master already had a status that even Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators would have to bow down to. As for a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, even the Bamboo Emperor would not dare to underestimate him. The reason why the Bamboo Emperor was polite to Ning Fan when they were in the thinking sifting bamboo sea that day was because he could vaguely see that Ning Fan possessed a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. However, in the Bamboo Emperor's eyes, Ning Fan was just a low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master at most. Therefore, even though he was polite to Ning Fan, his tone was still very indifferent. Even when he promised to give Ning Fan the tree ancestor fruits, he used a casual tone. Even though there aren't enough tree ancestor fruits in the Bamboo Palace for me to attain the first grade rain intent, the more tree ancestor fruits I obtain, the closer I will be to attaining the first grade rain intent. In order to obtain more tree ancestor fruits from the Bamboo Emperor, the first thing I need to do is to gain enough attention from the Bamboo Emperor. If the Bamboo Emperor knows that my pill refinement mastery has reached the high-grade 6th revolution, he certainly won't look down on me anymore. If I ask him for more tree ancestor fruits, he probably won't reject me. Ning Fan's body suddenly emitted an extremely strong medicine soul aura force. In the vast sky outside Jishui City, countless black butterflies suddenly appeared. Many pill refinement masters from the tree world, who had just arrived outside Jishui City, wore astonished expressions when they saw the black butterflies coiling around Ning Fan's body. The Great Void Realm commander who was arrogant just now also wore a shocked expression when he saw the black butterflies that filled the sky. These black butterflies are formed by the medicine soul power. Could it be that this man is actually a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master? As if to prove everyone's speculation, layers of colors on the 6-colored ancient steel lit up one after another. 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors and 6 colors. When 6 colors were lit up, it meant that the person who came was a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. My tone just now was not friendly. Please forgive me, Grandmaster. You are a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, and you can directly enter Jishui City. The Great Void Realm commander immediately walked down the city gate tower. He no longer wore his arrogant expression. He cupped his fists at Ning Fan, and showed a rare polite expression. He could be arrogant toward the Great Void Realm commander, who was at the same level as him, but he did not dare to be arrogant toward a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. Every 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master was qualified to be a distinguished guest of a Void Fragmentation Realm Old Monster. Just as he was about to personally lead the way for Ning Fan to enter the city to rest, something happened to the 6-colored ancient steel all of a sudden. The 6th color on the ancient tablet became brighter and brighter. In the end, the entire ancient tablet was like a 6-colored rainbow, emitting a dazzling light that shot into the sky. This phenomenon would only appear when a mid-6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master was testing his Pill Refinement Mastery. What? This Grandmaster is not only a 6th Revolution Pill Master, but also a mid-6th Revolution Pill Master. Commander Great Void was even more shocked now. In the 4 seas of trees, there were a total of 15 6th Revolution Pill Masters. Among them, there were 7 low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters, 5 mid-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters, and 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters. Could it be that Ning Fan is one of the 5 mid-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters in the tree world? He had never met all of the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters before. Thus, he did not know which of the 5 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters Ning Fan was. While he was thinking, the 6-colored ancient tablet changed again. All of a sudden, huge cracks appeared on the surface of the ancient tablet. In the end, the entire ancient tablet exploded and turned into countless pieces of rubble. The 6-colored ancient tablet was broken. In the sky above the entire Jishui city, 6-colored clouds suddenly appeared. All the cultivators in the city could see the colorful clouds. There was only one explanation for this. Ning Fan's Pill Refinement Mastery had exceeded the highest limit that the ancient tablet could test. This Grandmaster is actually a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Master. There were only 3 Pill Refinement Masters of this level in the tree world. Even the Bamboo Sovereign would not dare to neglect a Pill Refinement Master of this level. Outside the city gates, All the cultivators who witnessed the destruction of the ancient tablet revealed a shocked expression. Everyone looked at Ning Fan with deep respect, as if they were looking at a void fragmentation realm old monster. Now, can I enter Jishui City? Ning Fan gave Commander Tai Su a meaningful look. Commander Tai Su forced a smile and said politely, Grandmaster's pill refinement mastery is outstanding. Of course, you can enter and leave Jishui City as you wish. However, may I be so bold as to ask what Grandmaster's name is? Which one of the 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters in the Tree World are you? Ning Fan had always addressed himself with the surname Liu. This was the only thing that puzzled Commander Tai Su. Among the low-grade 6th Revolution and mid-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters in the Tree World, there were 2 brothers with the surname Liu. However, none of the 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters had the surname Liu. I am from the Ming Luo clan. My name is Liu Bei. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he walked into Jishui City, leaving behind the astonished cultivators outside the city. Liu Bei. Moreover, he is from the declining Ming Luo clan. This Grandmaster is actually not one of the 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters. He is the 4th Pill Refinement Master in the Tree World who possesses high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Mastery. This Grandmaster's name sounds a little familiar. Liu Bei. Liu Bei. Wait, I remember now. This person's name and appearance are obviously the Devil Cultivator that the Vine Sovereign is chasing after. I came from the Northern Tree Sea, and I have seen this person's wanted order with my own eyes. What? This Grandmaster is actually the Devil Cultivator that the Vine Sovereign is chasing after. Ning Fan ignored the discussions of the crowd and walked into Jishui City alone. The moment he stepped into the city, he immediately sensed countless obscure spirit scents sweeping towards him. Obviously, the fluctuation of his pill refinement mastery test had startled many old monsters in the city. In the vast sky, an agarwood chariot approached him from afar. It was pulled by 2 green divine bulls. There were 12 children standing on the chariot, and an elderly man with green pupils sitting at the center. That elderly man's aura force was very restrained. He vaguely gave off the aura force of a first heavenly layer void fragmentation realm expert. The chariot landed in front of Ning Fan. The elderly man got off the chariot with a smile, and cupped his fists at Ning Fan politely. I am the 3rd elder of the Bamboo Palace. Under the order of the Bamboo Sovereign, I have come here to welcome fellow Taoists to the Bamboo Palace to meet him. This time, the Bamboo Sovereign had witnessed Ning Fan's pill refinement mastery. His attitude was no longer as cold as before. The Bamboo Sovereign had even sent the 3rd elder who was at the void fragmentation realm to personally welcome Ning Fan into the Bamboo Palace. His respect for Ning Fan could be seen from this. This was the status of a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Master. Even the Bamboo Sovereign had to treat him as a distinguished guest. Chapter 589. Ning Fan sat on the agarwood chariot and chatted happily with the 3rd elder along the way. The 3rd elder was a dignified void fragmentation realm expert. Normally, he would not lower his status and chat with void refinement realm cultivators. However, Ning Fan was a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. Thus, he naturally would not neglect him. His tone was very polite. Under the gaze of all the cultivators in the city, the agarwood chariot traveled all the way to Jishui Palace. On this day, all the cultivators in the city learned about Ning Fan's high-profile entrance into the city. Some of them recognized Ning Fan as the person wanted by the Vine Sovereign. All of them were shocked. No one expected that Ning Fan, who was wanted by the Vine Sovereign, would actually come to the Eastern Tree Sea and openly come to the Bamboo Palace. No one expected that Ning Fan, who was wanted by the Vine Sovereign, was actually a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. Some Void Pierce Stage and Absolute Void Stage old monsters who came from the Western Forest Sea and the Northern Forest Sea secretly recognized Ning Fan's identity. Initially, they wanted to kill him and claim the reward from the Vine Sovereign. However, as soon as they found out about Ning Fan's identity as a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, and after seeing his absolute void chi, none of them actually dared to attack him openly. Some cultivators who came from the Han Song country in the Eastern Tree Sea recognized Ning Fan as the super expert who single-handedly annihilated the 4 clans of the Hansong clan. Thus, the news of Ningfan single-handedly annihilating the 4 clans of the Snowpine clan spread like wildfire in Jishui City. Many rumors speculated that Ningfan's true strength was comparable to Guiyuan Taishu. As soon as those old monsters who wanted to assassinate Ningfan and claim the reward heard that Ningfan's strength was so terrifying, all of them gave up on the idea. Although the Vine Sovereign's reward was tempting, his life was even more precious. There was no need to offend an expert whose alchemy skills were the best in the tree world, and whose combat strength was comparable to the origin returning realm for a mere reward. In Jishui Royal Palace, the Bamboo Sovereign's cold expression was no longer as cold as before. Now he wore a rare smile and prepared a banquet to welcome Ningfan. Other than old demon Fu Sang, who was not in Jishui City, all the 7 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders of the Bamboo Palace attended the banquet. If Ningfan is just a low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, even though the Bamboo Sovereign would value him, he would not pay so much attention to him. However, Ningfan's Pill Refinement Mastery had already reached the high-grade 6th Revolution. It was enough to be the best in the entire tree world. Even the Bamboo Sovereign did not dare to underestimate him. Among the 7 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders in the Bamboo Palace, 4 of them expressed their intention to befriend Ningfan. Only 3 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders wore hostile expressions. The 6th Elder was an old-fashioned cultivator of the Profound Gate. He cultivated the Tao of Tree God, and rarely engaged in battles in his life. He hated devil cultivators who killed people like Scything Flax the most. Therefore he disliked Ningfan. The 4th Elder was a cultivator at the first heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. He was somewhat related to the Bailey clan. Currently, each of the 8 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders of the Bamboo Palace had 3 quotas. They could recommend Void Refinement Realm cultivators to participate in the selection of the successor of the 8th Elder. Among the 3 people recommended by the 4th Elder, one of them was Patriarch Bai Li. The 4th Elder looked at Ningfan with a hint of hostility in his eyes. However, due to Ningfan's identity as a high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Master, he did not make things difficult for him on the spot. Naturally, it was impossible for him to befriend Ningfan. The Great Elder was a 3rd Heavenly Layer Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator. His eyes were also filled with hostility. When he was young, he had received some kindness from the previous leader of the Stone Tree Clan. The Stone Tree Clan was originally one of the 12 clans of the Cold Azure, but it was annihilated by Ningfan. That was why the Great Elder was looking at Ningfan with hostility. After the banquet ended, the Bamboo Sovereign summoned Ningfan, and promised him once again that if Ningfan could cure Zhu Zhu, he would certainly give Ningfan enough ancestral tree fruits to help him attain the 2nd grade rain intent. When Ningfan left the main hall of the royal palace, it was already late at night. Currently, there were no other high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters in Jishui City other than Ningfan. The Bamboo Sovereign decided to wait for another month. After he brings the other Pill Refinement Grandmasters here, he would then order everyone to cure Zhu Zhu's illness. Ningfan pondered inwardly. It seems like I can only stay in Jishui City for a month. After curing Zhu Zhu's illness 1 month later, and obtaining the ancestral tree fruits as a reward, he could then leave the Eastern Tree Sea. However, where should I go after that? Should I obey the Rain Sovereign's order and head to the Fire Tree Clan in the Western Tree Sea? Ningfan shook his head slightly. He had already offended the Vine Sovereign. It would be extremely dangerous for him to head to the Western Tree Sea now. Perhaps the Zhurong spring water of the Fire Tree Clan was a great opportunity. However, this opportunity was located in a dangerous place. It was better for him not to take it. Should I head to the Southern Tree Sea and meet the Snow Willow Devil Sovereign? After pondering for a while, Ningfan still shook his head. He and Lu Haoyue were just acquaintances. It was not necessary for him to head to the Southern Tree Sea. Then, should I stay in the tree world for a while longer or return to the rain world directly after obtaining the ancestral tree fruit? Ningfan sighed softly. He had just entered Jishui City, but he was already regarded as an enemy by 3 Void Fragmentation Realm experts from the Bamboo Palace. The Eastern Tree Sea was also not a place for him to stay for long. whether it's staying in the tree world or returning to the rain world. The most important thing now is to find a way to attain the first grade rain intent. I wonder when my rain intent can attain the first grade rain intent. Ning Fan walked alone on the long street under the night sky. Unknowingly, there were no longer any cultivators around him. He suddenly stopped walking. His eyes turned solemn. With a flick of his sleeve, a strong gust of wind blew in all directions. The long street in front of him turned into illusions and shattered into pieces. "This is the space of a heavenly dwelling," Ning Fan said with a frown. A moment ago, he was still walking on the long street of Jishui City. In the next moment, he was already taken into this heavenly dwelling space. Without a doubt, someone in Jishui City was plotting against him. Even though they knew that his pill refinement mastery was the best in the tree world, they still dared to plot against him. Inside the heavenly dwelling space, a blood-red light suddenly shone. The figures of two elderly men who were riding tigers appeared. Both of them were absolute void stage cultivators. The eyes of the two elderly men that were looking at Ning Fan were blank and blank. However, they contained sharp killing intent. They were assassins sent by the Bai Li clan. They intended to assassinate Ning Fan on his way out of Jishui Palace. Behind the two elderly men, there were 7 Void Inquiry Stage and Void Pierce Stage assassins. All of them were riding blood tigers with cold eyes. The 7 Void Inquiry Stage and Void Pierce Stage assassins took out their blood banners at the same time. As they waved them, blood-red light filled the sky. Just like the assassination attempt by the Bai Li clan that day, the life force of the 7 assassins was drained, and they began to age rapidly. As for the 2 Absolute Void Stage old men, they used a secret technique to absorb the blood-red light. Within a short period of time, their chi rose to the origin returning Absolute Void Stage. Kill. All of the assassins rode on their blood tigers and charged at Ning Fan from all directions. Ning Fan was very sure that they were the assassins of the Bai Li clan without a doubt. Thus, there was no need for him to show any mercy. He took a step forward and turned into black robes. He raised his hand and extracted their souls. His sovereign chi rose and golden light shone brightly. At the same time, he activated the 3rd heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm, and began a massacre in the heavenly dwelling. After 10 breaths of time, there was no one else in the heavenly dwelling other than Ning Fan. The air was filled with a thick smell of blood. Among the 9 assassins of the Bai Li clan, Ning Fan had directly killed 8 of them. What was strange was that none of them had primordial spirits or demon souls in their bodies. Ning Fan did not manage to capture any of their primordial spirits or demon souls. Thus, he was unable to search their memories. Fortunately, he deliberately spared a Void Inquiry Stage assassin and captured him alive. He tried to use the soul-searching technique on this person to find out why the Bai Li clan was hostile towards him and what their intentions were. However, as soon as he performed the soul-searching technique, the assassin's sea of consciousness suddenly exploded along with his entire body. "I can't search his soul, huh?" Ning Fan remained silent. The cultivators of the Bai Li clan did not have primordial spirits or demon souls. This was rather strange. As the 9th assassin exploded, all 9 of them died. 9 rays of blood-red light suddenly appeared in the silent sky and condensed into a dual invitation. There was only one word on the dual invitation: die. It was the 3rd dual invitation sent by the clan leader of the Bai Li clan. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a strange expression. This clan leader of the Bai Li clan actually sent him a 3rd dual invitation. The clan leader of the Bai Li clan had planted 9 rays of blood-red light in the bodies of the 9 assassins he sent this time. Once the 9 assassins die, the blood-red light would condense into a dual invitation. Could it be that the clan leader of the Bai Li clan predicted that the assassination this time would fail? Is that why he sent the 3rd dual invitation to Ning Fan through the deaths of the 9 assassins? Since he knew that the assassination would fail, why did he still send these assassins to their deaths? Wait a minute. Sending them to their deaths. Ning Fan seemed to have thought of something. He patted his storage pouch and took out the first 2 dual invitations. He looked at the word die on the 3 dual invitations and fell into deep thought. Every single one of the 3 dual invitations was illogical. At first, Ning Fan could not understand why the clan leader of the Bai Li clan would send a dual invitation every time he sent someone to assassinate him. Only now did he vaguely understand the clan leader's intention. The 3 duel invitations were filled with the clan leader's undying killing intent that was as deep as the ocean. At first, Ning Fan's habitual thought was that the clan leader of the Bai Li clan wanted to kill him by sending 3 duel invitations consecutively. That was why he was confused by the clan leader's contradictory behavior. The clan leader clearly knew that the assassins he sent would not be able to kill Ning Fan, but he still sent them to kill him. Even though the clan leader knew that the actions of sending duel invitations were extremely arrogant and brainless, he still sent them again and again. Now he finally understood. The undying killing intent in the duel invitations was not directed at Ning Fan, but the members of the Bai Li clan. The word die was not meant for Ning Fan but for the members of the Bai Li clan. It wanted every member of the Bai Li clan who came to assassinate Ning Fan to die in his hands. The reason why the clan leader sent 3 duel invitations to Ning Fan was because he wanted Ning Fan to kill all the members of the Bai Li clan. Based on this line of thought, the strange behavior of the clan leader of the Bai Li clan in sending the duel invitations could be explained clearly. However, what was the clan leader's goal? As the leader of the clan, why would he send his clansmen to their deaths on purpose? Ning Fan frowned. He could not help but feel that the clan leader's actions revealed a strong and strange aura. A thought flashed across his mind. He suddenly recalled that the Bai Li clan's assassins did not have primordial spirits or demon souls in their bodies. These 2 matters were equally strange. However, they seemed to be related in some way. Ning Fan kept thinking about it, but he felt that his thoughts were getting more and more complicated. He could not understand why the clan leader of the Bai Li clan would send his clansmen to their deaths. What exactly is the clan leader of the Bai Li clan planning? What benefits does it bring him by sending his clansmen to their deaths? Could it be that even though this person is the clan leader of the Bai Li clan, he has a deep grudge against the clan? Ning Fan lifted his palm and crushed the heavenly dwelling he was in, returning to the long street of Jishui City in the outside world. On the long street, cultivators were passing by. None of them noticed that Ning Fan had been kept into the heavenly dwelling and started a massacre inside. While walking on the long street, he felt a hint of uneasiness for the first time since he entered the tree world. He stopped in his tracks and took out the tortoiseshell. He wanted to use the 3 duel invitations for divination to find out a trace of the heavenly secret. With Ning Fan's divination technique, it was impossible for him to find out the true motive of the clan leader of the Bai Li clan. What he wanted to divine was merely good or bad luck. He wanted to know if the confrontation with the Bai Li clan was good or bad. After a series of divination, the tortoiseshell suddenly cracked. It was a sign of great misfortune. Ning Fan's eyes suddenly turned cold. The Bai Li clan was just a void refinement realm force after all. On the other hand, Ning Fan had void fragmentation realm spiritual puppets and helpers with him. Why would there be a sign of great misfortune when he confronts the Bai Li clan? Ning Fan asked himself. Even if he was no match for the bamboo sovereign, he would most likely be able to escape with his life. Could it be that behind the strange behavior of the clan leader of the Bai Li clan, there is a great danger that is even scarier than the bamboo sovereign? While Ning Fan was lost in his thoughts, an arrogant young lady's voice suddenly resounded in the night sky on the long street. That arrogant voice made Ning Fan's eyes turn slightly cold. Humph. So you are Liu Bei of the Nether Luo clan. You have an absolute void stage cultivation base, and a high-grade 6th revolution pill refinement realm. You are really amazing. You even dared to directly reject my great-grandfather who lowered his status, and personally asked you to help our Fu Sang clan. Do you actually look down on our Fu Sang clan? Or do you know that you are too weak to be selected as the 8th elder of the Bamboo Palace? Or perhaps, you are afraid of the Bai Li clan, and you don't dare to confront the king of the Bai Li clan. What a coward! Ning Fan glanced at her from the corner of his eyes. The one who spoke was a young lady in red robes. She looked like a 15 or 16-year-old girl. She had a beautiful appearance, but there was a hint of arrogance in her eyes that was not concealed at all. The young lady in red robes was just a nascent soul realm cultivator. However, the 4 female guards behind her were all at the divine transformation realm. As soon as the 4 female guards saw that their young mistress actually dared to speak rudely to Ning Fan, Their faces turned pale. They stood in front of the young lady in red robes and apologized to Ning Fan. Master Lu, please forgive us. Our young mistress is young and ignorant. She spoke rudely, but she definitely meant no harm. Master, please don't lower yourself to the same level as us juniors. Our young mistress is Tang Yuan, the daughter of the clan leader of the Fu Sang clan, Tang Xiong. I heard that Master Lu has a good relationship with the old ancestor and clan leader of my clan. Please don't blame our young mistress for her indiscreet remarks for the sake of our old ancestor and clan leader. This young lady in red robes was the little princess of the Fu Sang clan. Today, the selection of the 8th elder's successor was about to begin. As one of the 3 candidates recommended by old demon Fu Sang, Tang Xiong had already rushed to the eastern forest sea from the Gomong country in the northern forest sea. This young lady in red robes was called Tang Yuan. She was Tang Xiong's daughter. It had been a few days since she came to Jishui City with her father. She had heard from her father that Ning Fan had refused to help the Fu Sang clan, and she was extremely dissatisfied. She had the protection of a void fragmentation realm old monster. Thus she had always been arrogant and willful. Even though her cultivation base was at the nascent soul realm, she dared to talk back to void refinement realm old monsters without the slightest bit of fear. She was not afraid of Ning Fan, and even dared to speak rudely to him. However, the female guards behind her could sense how terrifying Ning Fan was. It was as if a single glance from Ning Fan was enough to shatter all of their souls and kill them all. When the 4 female guards faced Ning Fan, they felt a heavy pressure from him. That pressure was not inferior to that of the old demon Fu Sang. Moreover, the 4 female guards also knew that Ning Fan was a high-grade 6th revolution pill refinement master. The 4 female guards were not arrogant and willful like Tang Yuan. They knew that Ning Fan was not someone that the declining Fu Sang clan could afford to offend. Therefore, the moment Tang Yuan insulted Ning Fan, the 4 female guards pleaded for her at the same time. Ning Fan's eyes flashed and he retracted the coldness in his eyes. If this lady was some other blind cultivator who came looking for trouble with him, he would not mind teaching her a lesson. However, this lady was the little princess of the Fu Sang clan. More or less, Ning Fan owed the Fu Sang clan a favor that he had yet to repay. Thus, he was unwilling to attack her. The corner of his lips curled up slightly, and he said with a mocking smile, "Your name is very delicious. Tang Yuan, huh? I haven't eaten it for a long time." It was not pleasant to hear but delicious. He did not attack her. He just teased her verbally as a counterattack. That was all. After that, Ning Fan walked past the 5 women in front of him, and walked towards the end of the long street. Tang Yuan's pretty face bloomed like a peach blossom. She was extremely embarrassed and angry. Her name was obviously Tang Yuan and not Tang Yuan. Ning Fan was really bold. He actually dared to make fun of her name. "Liu Bei, you coward. You don't dare to accept my grandfather's request. You don't dare to fight for the position of the 8th elder. You don't dare to fight against the clan leader of the Bai Li clan. I look down on you." Ning Fan suddenly stopped walking and turned around with a cold look. All of a sudden, the 4 female guards wanted to cry, but they had no tears. They secretly blamed their young mistress for being reckless. He didn't want to argue with you and let you go once. Yet, you actually went to look for trouble with him. You're just courting death. Now your father, Tang Xiong, has something to deal with and he's not in Jishui City. Even though your grandfather, old demon Fu Sang, is a void fragmentation realm old monster, he is far away in the northern forest sea. It's even more impossible for him to come and protect you. If you provoke him and anger him, who will be able to protect your little life? Master Lu, please calm down. The 4 female guards still wanted to plead for mercy. However, Ning Fan shook his head, indicating that he did not intend to blame them. However, his tone no longer had the intention to tease them. Instead, it began to become cold. His cold words were like the icy blades from the netherworld. When they entered Tang Yuan's ears, her delicate body shivered and she looked at Ning Fan with a little fear. I just said a few words to you. What do you want to do to me? Don't tell me you want to lower yourself to the same level as a little girl like me? Aren't you a great hero? If you attack me, all the cultivators in the tree world will laugh at you. Just a moment ago, Tang Yuan was still calling Ning Fan a coward. Now that she realized that Ning Fan was not someone she could mess with, she changed her tone and called him a great hero. This woman really had no moral principles at all. She immediately admitted defeat when the situation turned bad. Tell Senior Fu Sang to be careful of Bai Li. Ning Fan gave Tang Yuan and the other female guards a final warning. Then his figure flashed and disappeared. Even if it was for the sake of the Fu Sang clan, Ning Fan would not be calculative with a silly little girl. He owed the Fu Sang clan a favor. Therefore he gave them a warning. There was a huge danger hidden behind the Bai Li clan. Even Ning Fan was very wary of this danger, and he was not willing to touch it recklessly. Perhaps it was an illusion. But Ning Fan faintly felt that the air of the eastern forest sea was filled with a sense of tranquility as if a storm was coming. Perhaps there was a huge danger hidden behind the Bai Li clan. And this danger might possibly set off a catastrophe in the entire eastern forest sea. Perhaps everything was just an illusion. However, I hope that the sense of danger that the Bai Li clan gave me is just an illusion. Chapter 590. Ning Fan turned into a ray of traveling light and disappeared into the dim night sky. When he reappeared, he was already outside a golden palace in Jishui City. This was a palace for cultivators who entered the city to rest. Ning Fan paid the immortal jades and chose a room to rest in. He had already reminded the Fusang tribe to be careful of the Bai Li tribe. He had done his part, but he was not willing to get involved in the feud between the Fusang tribe and the Bai Li tribe. He had a lot of fear towards the Bai Li clan. That fear was all because of the ominous omen he had foreseen. Ning Fan sat alone in his room and pondered in silence. After a long time, he suddenly formed a hand seal with all 10 of his fingers. His entire body was surrounded by the heavenly green rain intent of the 3rd grade. Outside the window was a rustling bamboo forest. A cool night breeze brushed past. As Ning Fan dispersed the rain intent, the night sky outside the window suddenly began to drizzle. Ning Fan was using the heavenly peering rain technique to spy on the outside world. He tried to fuse the 3 days of rain with his divine sense to cover the entire my country and secretly spy on the Bai Li tribe. Ning Fan would not be able to feel at ease if he did not find out the source of that ominous sign. The curtain of rain gradually spread until it covered all of Jishui City. Then, with Jishui City as the center, it began to drizzle far away. Gradually, the area within 70 million miles was covered in a fine drizzle. Many cultivators of Jishui City felt strange. Jishui City has an array light to block the wind and rain, so why would it rain for no reason? No one knew that Ning Fan was using the heaven-peering rain technique. The rain was silent, and the technique did not leave any trace. At this moment, the intertwining black clouds in the night sky were his eyes. At this moment, the drizzle that seemed to be woven continuously was his will. Ning Fan's spirit sense spread out in the night. Wherever the rain fell, it would be the place where his spirit sense took root. 1 million miles, 2 million miles, 10 million miles, 20 million miles, 70 million miles. Gradually, everything within a radius of 70 million li, from the mountains and rivers on the surface to the plants and insects on the ground, were all under the surveillance of Ning Fan's spirit sense. Even a cultivator at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm could only cover an area of 1 million li with his spirit sense. However, at this moment, Ning Fan's spirit sense had covered an area of 70 million li. The rain of the 2nd day, the rain of the sun. Ning Fan changed his hand seal. Then he performed the hand seal of the Yang Heaven Rain, and made the Yang Heaven Rain and Haotian Rain merge together. Following the fusion of the 2 rain techniques, the dark clouds drifted into the distance, and the drizzle extended to a distance of 300 million miles. Lonely Sky's rain could allow his divine sense to cover an area of 70 million miles. The rain of 2 heavens could allow one's divine sense to cover an area of 300 million miles. 3 days of rain could allow one's divine sense to cover an area of 1 billion miles. With the power of Ning Fan's 3rd grade rain intent, it was not difficult for him to fuse with the 2nd day's rain. However, he could at most fuse with the rain of 3 days. 3 days of rain. Ning Fan changed his hand seal again. He formed the hand seal of the Scarlet Heaven Rain, and completely merged the 3 types of rain techniques he knew. The fusion of 3 days of rain had directly depleted all of his magic power. At that moment, the curtain of rain extended for over 1 billion kilometers, bathing the entire my kingdom. At this moment, the rain had soaked the entire my country, spying on the tens of thousands of tree clans, including the Baili clan. The Baili clan was located in the southern region of my country, Kueli City. It was drizzling in Kueli City. Each drop of rain was like a trace of Ningfan's spirit sense. The drizzle was silent. When it entered the city, the scenery of Kueli City was unobstructed. Under the dim light of the night, the atmosphere of Kueli City was very strange. Each of the members of the Baili clan were like walking corpses. Their eyes were empty and blank. None of them had a primordial spirit or demon soul in their body. At the center of Kueli City, there was a massive palace. Inside the palace, the Baili king, who was the leader of the Baili clan, was sitting alone in the empty palace like a statue. His eyes were wide open and he did not say a word. There was no expression on his face. If it wasn't for the Baili king's chi of invincibility, Ningfan would have thought that he was a statue. Is he the Baili king? Ningfan muttered to himself. When he used the heaven-peering rain technique to spy on the Baili clan, Ningfan realized that even though the Baili king was strong, he did not give him any sense of danger. There was a great danger lurking behind the Baili clan. However, this danger did not come from the Baili king or the members of the Baili clan. Ningfan dispersed the rain intent and withdrew his spirit sense from the entire Muyi country. He did not find any dangerous person among the members of the Baili clan. He could not find out the source of the great omen. However, the moment he withdrew his spirit sense, he vaguely heard a sorrowful wail of a bird from Jishui City. That wail was soft and low. It sounded like it was very far away from where he was, but at the same time, it seemed very close, as if it was whispering beside his ear. That wail seemed to have endured thousands of pain, and it seemed to contain thousands of traces of regret. That wail seemed to be trying to remind Ningfan of something. The person who was wailing seemed to have sensed Ningfan's terrifying Fuli ancestral blood. That was why it was trying to remind him of something. That wail made Ningfan's Fuli demon blood, which had been silent for a long time, suddenly boil, triggering a faint resonance with it. Is that the cry of Fuli? No, it doesn't look like it. It's slightly different from Fuli. That's the cry of Sinli. The Fuli clan supported the heavens in this chaotic world. Fuli was the supervisor of the heavenly Tao in ancient times. Sinli was the sinner of the Fuli clan. Any Fuli who betrays the clan would be stripped of their bloodline and be implanted with the Fuli evil seal. They would then be demoted to Sinli and become a slave of the Fuli clan forever. Ningfan's eyes revealed a hint of surprise. Is there actually a Sinli in this Jishui city? He consumed a pill and adjusted his breathing and magic power. After a long time, he displayed the heaven-peering rain technique again to merge the rain of the 3 days. He wanted to listen carefully to see if there were any more cries of Sinli in Jishui City. However, this time he could not hear anything. Sinli? Is there a Sinli hiding in Jishui City? Ningfan frowned. He could not hear the second cry of Sinli anymore. Nieli's sorrowful cry reverberated in his mind. It made Ningfan feel a little uneasy. However, he did not know why. After clearing away the distracting thoughts in his mind, Ningfan quickly formulated the next step of his plan. There was still 1 more month before the bamboo sovereign gave the order to heal the ancestral bamboo. If he can heal the ancestral bamboo, Ningfan would be rewarded with the ancestral tree fruit, and his rain intent would rise to the 2nd grade. He took out 9 types of 6th revolution pill recipes from his storage pouch. There were low-grade pill recipes, middle-grade pill recipes, and high-grade pill recipes. The pills recorded in these pill recipes contain the essence of wood spiritual chi. They could cure all kinds of injuries, illnesses, and poisons of tree demons and tree devils. Ningfan did not know what kind of illness the ancestral bamboo was suffering from. Naturally, he could not prescribe the right medicine. Thus, he decided to concoct some pills that could heal, cure, and detoxify just in case he needed them. Ningfan went into seclusion for 7 days in a row and concocted 4 different types of 6th revolution healing pills and detoxification pills in the profound Yin world. However, There were still 5 pill recipes that he did not have the required spiritual herbs. Ning Fan left the Golden Palace where he temporarily stayed as a guest. He intended to purchase the required spiritual herbs in the shops in Jishui City to concoct pills. The cultivators he met along the way looked at him with deep respect. He turned a blind eye to the reverence of these cultivators and directly walked towards the largest shop in the city. The largest shop in Jishui City was called Jiaxing Lu. It was opened by the Cypress Star clan of Muyi country. The old ancestor of the Cypress Star clan was the 3rd elder of the Bamboo Palace. He was a cultivator at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. The Jiaxing Lu was 10,000 zhang tall. It had tens of floors in total. 4 early divine transformation realm burly tree devils were standing guard outside the building. Each of their expressions was extremely arrogant. If one did not have a void refinement realm force as his background or was a void refinement realm cultivator, he was not allowed to enter the Jiaxing Lu. All of them would be stopped outside by the burly tree devils. Ning Fan, of course, would not be stopped outside. As soon as the 4 divine transformation realm guards saw Ning Fan, their arrogant expressions immediately disappeared and were replaced with extremely respectful expressions. May I know if Master Lu wants to purchase spiritual herbs for pill concoction or pill recipes or even completed pills? Our Jiaxing Lu is the #1 trading company in Jishui City. We have pill recipes, spiritual herbs and pills. No matter what you need, I'm sure we will be able to satisfy you. Oh, no matter what I need, Jiaxing Lu has it. I wonder if Jiaxing Lu has high-grade 7th revolution healing pills? Ning Fan's eyes carried a hint of a smile as he looked at the top floor of the Jiaxing Lu. What he said was purely a joke. He did not think that Jiaxing Lu would have high-grade 7th revolution healing pills. His joke was not directed at the 4 divine transformation realm guards. Instead, it was directed at a certain old monster on the top floor of the Jiaxing Lu. The reason why he mentioned high-grade 7th revolution pills was because he had not forgotten about helping the small sable to recover from its injuries. As soon as they heard Ning Fan asking for high-grade 7th revolution pills, the 4 divine transformation realm guards immediately revealed a bitter smile. Even though their Jiaxing Lu had all kinds of pills and spiritual herbs, it was only for void refinement realm cultivators. Let alone the fact that Jiaxing Lu did not have high-grade 7th revolution healing pills. Even if they did, such pills were life-saving items for void fragmentation realm cultivators. Who would be willing to sell them? Master Lu, you must be joking. My Jiaxing Lu doesn't have high-grade 7th revolution healing pills, and the entire tree world doesn't have any. However, I still have a low-grade 7th revolution healing pill with me. It has always been my life-saving item. If fellow Taoist really needs it, I can give it to you. What's the problem? After Ning Fan said that, an old but hearty voice immediately echoed from the top floor of the Jiaxing Lu. The one who spoke was the 3rd elder of the Bamboo Palace. Ning Fan shook his head with a smile. He was just saying it casually. He knew that Jiaxing Lu would not have such a high-grade healing pill. He did not plan to buy the 3rd elder's life-saving pill. A low-grade 7th revolution healing pill would not be of much help to the small sable's injuries. A ray of green light shot down from the bottom floor of the Jiaxing Lu and turned into an elderly man with green pupils. He was the 3rd elder of the Bamboo Palace. The elderly man with green pupils cupped his fists at Ning Fan. His body emitted the aura force of the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, and said with a smile, I wonder what item Master Lu wants to purchase from Jiaxing Lu today? I want to buy some spiritual herbs to concoct pills. I wonder if your business has these spiritual herbs that I need? Ning Fan cupped his fists to return the greeting. He then patted his storage pouch and took out a jade slip and passed it to the elderly man. The jade slip recorded all kinds of 50,000 years old spiritual herbs needed for pill concoction. The elderly man scanned the jade slip with his spirit sense and nodded. Our business has all the spiritual herbs that Master needs in stock. Why don't you follow me into the building to get the herbs? However, before that, I have a question to ask Master Lu. Are you buying these spiritual herbs to concoct pills that can cure Zuju's illness? That's right. If that's the case, I'm afraid Master has bought the wrong spiritual herbs. Even though I'm not an expert in pill refinement, I have a good understanding of the medicinal properties of various spiritual herbs, because I'm running a business. The spiritual herbs that Master needs can cure and detoxify the injuries of tree demons and evil trees. The pills that I concoct are mostly healing and detoxifying pills. These pills can't cure Zhu Zhu's illness. When he thought of the strange illness that Zhu Zhu had, the elderly man showed a worried expression. The ancestral bamboo was the most precious treasure of the bamboo palace. Not only could it bear the ancestral tree fruit, but the tree itself could also nurture a tree spirit. The tree spirit possessed the cultivation base of the third heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. When necessary, it could leave the body of the ancestral bamboo and fight for the sake of protecting the bamboo palace. However, since 10,000 years ago, the tree spirit had never left the body of the ancestral bamboo ever since. Since 10,000 years ago, the leaves of the ancestral bamboo began to wither day by day. Recently, the withering became more intense as if the entire ancestral bamboo was about to wither and die. At this critical moment, the tree spirit in the ancestral bamboo suddenly left the body of the tree and appeared in the bamboo palace. Then, as if it was possessed, it went on a killing spree. In just a few breaths' time, the tree spirit had killed 7 void refinement realm experts of the bamboo palace with its third heavenly layer cultivation base. If it wasn't for the bamboo sovereign who took action in time to suppress the raging tree spirit of the ancestral bamboo, the tree spirit would probably have killed even more experts of the bamboo palace. The bamboo sovereign sealed the tree spirit and the ancestral tree in a forbidden area, forbidding any cultivators of the bamboo palace from getting close to it to avoid being killed by the crazy tree spirit. The bamboo sovereign announced to the outside world that the ancestral bamboo was suffering from a strange disease, but he did not mention anything about the tree spirit's madness. The reason why the bamboo sovereign summoned all the pill refinement masters in the world was not only to cure the withering disease of the ancestral bamboo, but also to revive it. More importantly, the bamboo sovereign wanted to cure the tree spirit's madness. It wasn't an injury, illness, or poison. It was a strange disease that the bamboo sovereign had never seen before. After the tree spirit contracted this strange disease, it had completely forgotten its mission to protect the bamboo palace. It became unrecognizable and killed anyone it saw. The green-eyed elderly man knew that the pill Ning Fan wanted to concoct was not the right medicine to cure the tree spirit's madness. I have never seen the ancestral bamboo before. I don't know what kind of strange disease it has. Naturally, I can't prescribe the right medicine. May I ask, third elder, what kind of strange disease does the ancestral bamboo have? The bamboo sovereign has given an order that all information related to the ancestral bamboo is the highest secret of the bamboo palace and must not be leaked. However, fellow Taoist is not an outsider. You are a pill refinement master who specializes in treating the ancestral bamboo. I think it's not inappropriate for me to tell you all the secrets I know. Fellow Taoist, please take a look at this jade slip. It contains all the information about the ancestral bamboo. The green-eyed elderly man took out a jade slip and passed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan received the jade slip and scanned through its contents. His eyes were filled with surprise. It turns out that the strange disease of the ancestral bamboo refers to the madness of the tree spirit. If I want to cure the tree spirit's madness, I must first find out the reason behind it. Ning Fan scanned through the information in the jade slip with his spirit sense. Suddenly his heart moved. The jade slip contained all the information about the ancestral bamboo. 2 of the information caught Ning Fan's attention. Firstly, the ancestral bamboo grew in the small Kiliacosm forbidden area of the bamboo palace. It was a divine bamboo planted by a certain bamboo sovereign. It was said that the bamboo sovereign had once used the ancestral bamboo's power to suppress a ferocious beast called Sinli in the forbidden area. This piece of information was related to the Sinli. It made Ning Fan very concerned. The sorrowful cry of the Sinli that he heard that day might have come from the forbidden area of the ancestral bamboo. Secondly, 10,000 years ago, the Baili clan of the Muyi country was responsible for guarding the ancestral bamboo in the bamboo palace. Therefore, Ning Fan paid close attention to the Baili clan. When he saw this piece of information, his eyes immediately turned cold. It's the Baili clan again. 10,000 years ago, the ancestral bamboo developed this disease. The ones who guarded the ancestral bamboo 10,000 years ago were the Baili clan. Baili. This Baili clan is definitely not a benevolent clan. Could it be that the illness of the ancestral bamboo and the madness of the tree spirit are related to the Baili clan? Is there any connection between the great crisis that the Baili clan is facing in the future and the strange disease of the ancestral bamboo? Could that ominous sign be related to the Sinli clan that the ancestral bamboo is suppressing? Ning Fan put away all his distracting thoughts. He did not purchase the spiritual herbs that he bought earlier. Instead, he found a few pill formulas that specialized in curing madness, and purchased the required spiritual herbs for them in the star-picking tower. I wonder if these pills can cure the ancestral bamboo's madness. He bid farewell to the third elder, and left the star-picking tower. On his way back to the Golden Palace, he was suddenly stopped by a young lady in red robes angrily. Liu Bei, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Today, the first round of the competition for the 8th elder's successor was held in the Bamboo Palace. My father, Tang Xiong, was severely injured by King Baili with a single palm strike and lost his qualification to be selected. Do you know that? If you had agreed to my grandfather's request that day and helped my Fusang clan to select the 8th elder of the Bamboo Palace, my father wouldn't have participated in the competition, and he wouldn't have been severely injured by King Baili. It's all your fault. You're the one who injured my father. How are you going to take responsibility for this? The person who stood in front of Ning Fan was the little princess of the Fusang clan, Tang Yuan. At this moment, she was crying like a pear blossom in the rain. With an unforgiving tone, she stood in front of Ning Fan, blocking his path and glaring at him angrily. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with impatience. This little princess of the Fusang clan is really clingy. Today, she actually came to cause trouble for no reason again. Ning Fan did not know that the first round of the 8th elder's selection had already begun. He also did not know that Tang Xiong had lost his qualification and was injured by King Baili. This matter had nothing to do with him at all. His relationship with the Fusang clan was as shallow as water. What did it have to do with him that Tang Xiong was injured by King Baili? It was really baffling for Tang Yuan to come to his door and ask him about this matter. It was Ning Fan's first time seeing such a brainless woman. He did not have the mood to coax this crying woman, nor did he have the mood to take responsibility for her. She was not his human cauldron. What right did he have to take responsibility for her? Ning Fan acted as if he did not see her at all. He directly walked past her and left her there. When Tang Yuan saw that Ning Fan was ignoring her, she quickly chased after him. She grabbed Ning Fan's sleeve and said persistently, "You haven't taken responsibility for me yet. You can't leave." Freeze. Ning Fan pointed his finger at her and performed the heaven freezing technique, freezing her on the spot. He had an absolute void stage cultivation base, while Tang Yuan had a nascent soul realm cultivation base. If he performed the heaven freezing technique, he would probably be able to freeze her for the rest of her life. Of course, if a void refinement realm expert of the Fusang clan appears, they would probably be able to break this technique after spending a lot of effort. Why can't I move? What did you do to me? Let me go. Tang Yuan was a little scared. Ning Fan pulled out his sleeve and patted the dust on it. Then he said indifferently to Tang Yuan, "Last time, I spared you when you came to look for trouble. This time, I just froze you in place. Consider it a small punishment. If it happens again, I will directly throw you into the lair of a void refinement realm ferocious beast, and let you perish on your own." As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he turned around and left, leaving Tang Yuan, who had been struck by the heaven freezing technique. She was immobilized on the long street. Tang Yuan felt so wrong that she almost burst into tears. She had never been bullied by anyone before. Today, however, she was bullied by Ning Fan. She wanted to break free from the heaven freezing technique, but she realized that it was not something that she could break free from at all. She stared at Ning Fan's back. She clearly wanted to scold him fiercely. However, when the words reached her mouth, they turned into begging for mercy. She really has no integrity. Master Lu, quickly let me go. I beg you." Master, I beg you to let me go. I will never provoke you again. Master, why are you walking further and further away? Master, don't go. Master, if you let me go, I will repay you with my body. I promise. Tang Yuan's begging could not move Ning Fan at all. Very soon, Ning Fan disappeared from her sight. She stood on the long street in a disheveled manner like a statue until the 4 female guards who arrived late carried her back. After Tang Yuan left in a disheveled manner, Ning Fan's figure flashed and he suddenly reappeared at his original spot. He muttered to himself, "The selection of the 8th elder has already begun. If there are no accidents, King Baili should be the next 8th elder." Baili. Chapter 591. As the days passed, the successor of the 8th elder was finally decided after several rounds of assessment. Unsurprisingly, King Baili became the new 8th elder. The pill refinement grandmasters of the tree world came to Jishui City, one after another. Including Ning Fan, there were a total of 11 6th revolution pill refinement masters. Ning Fan did not leave his house at all. He was busy concocting pills to cure insanity. On the surface, he seemed indifferent to everything that was happening in the outside world. Secretly, he used the heaven-prying rain technique several times to spy on the movements of the entire wild husbandry country. Wild husbandry country Jishui City. Everything seemed to be peaceful. When the 3 high-grade 6th revolution pill refinement masters of the tree world arrived at Jishui City, Ning Fan received an invitation from the Bamboo Palace. The one who delivered the invitation was a mid-divine transformation realm young man with green eyes. He was the young lord of the Xingbai clan. His eyes were filled with 30% worship and 70% reverence. He was also an alchemist. This junior is here to invite Senior Lu to attend the banquet in the Bamboo Palace tonight under the orders of the 3rd elder. Senior will know the specific details after reading the invitation. Ning Fan took the invitation and glanced at it. Tonight, the Bamboo Palace would hold a banquet in the Bamboo Palace to entertain the 11 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters who came to Jishui City. Tomorrow, the Bamboo Sovereign would bring the 11 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters and part of the 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters to the place where Zuzhu was to officially diagnose her illness. Other than the 11 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters, who else will be attending the banquet? Ning Fan asked. Senior, this banquet will be hosted by the Bamboo Sovereign personally. All 7 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders will be present. Even the new 8th Elder will be there. Other than Senior and the other 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters, the Bamboo Sovereign has also invited some Void Refinement Realm forces, such as the Fu Sang clan and the Nanmu clan. Alright, I got it. You may leave now. Ning Fan nodded. Yes. This junior will take his leave now. The young man bowed respectfully and turned into a ray of traveling light before leaving. Dusk gradually deepened, and night quickly fell. Ning Fan left the Gold Palace and walked on the long street of Jishui City, slowly heading towards the Bamboo Palace. During this period of time, he would feel uneasy from time to time, as if some kind of danger was gradually approaching him. He did not like to get involved in unimportant dangers. But in order to obtain the tree ancestor fruit, he had no choice but to stay in the eastern tree sea. Just as Ning Fan was deep in thought, a series of bloodthirsty tiger roars suddenly sounded from behind him. He saw a tree carriage pulled by 4 wild beasts, blood tigers, approaching from afar. The emblem of the Bailey clan was painted on the tree carriage. The drivers were 4 Void Glimpse stage experts of the Bailey clan. The person sitting inside the carriage was none other than King Bailey, who had just been promoted to the 8th elder of the Bamboo Palace. Upon seeing the blood tiger tree carriage, the cultivators on the street all retreated. That tree carriage was moving at full speed all the way. When it reached Ning Fan's side, it suddenly stopped. King Bailey walked out of the tree carriage. His eyes were cold and indifferent. Without saying anything, he waved his sleeve and countless rays of blood light flew out from it. They condensed into a jade invitation, and he tossed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan received the jade invitation and glanced at it. This was the 4th invitation from King Bailey. This time, King Bailey personally delivered the letter of challenge. This time, the letter of challenge didn't just have the word death written on it, but 3. Tomorrow die. King Bailey's eyes were filled with boundless killing intent. It seemed like he would never give up until he killed Ning Fan. However, there was a hint of pain, pleading and reminding in the deepest part of his eyes. That was his true expression. From the beginning to the end, King Bailey did not say anything. After delivering the 4th invitation, he returned to the tree carriage and headed to the bamboo palace at full speed. The cultivators nearby who did not know the truth noticed King Bailey's murderous gaze towards Ning Fan. All of them secretly guessed what kind of grudge King Bailey had with Ning Fan. Ning Fan stood on the long street with the 4th invitation in his hand. His expression showed that he was deep in thought. There were only 3 words on the invitation, but they contained an important message. Tomorrow. Ning Fan's mind raced. Is the Bailey clan going to kill me tomorrow? However, if they really want to kill me, why did they specifically mention the date and let me be prepared in advance? Tomorrow more assassins from the Bailey clan will come to kill me. Does King Bailey want me to be prepared and eliminate all of them? Instead of saying that he sent this invitation to show his killing intent, it would be better to say that he is reminding me. What exactly is he planning to do by doing this? Tomorrow, the Bamboo Sovereign will bring us 6th Revolution Pill Masters to the Minor Thousand Forbidden Land where Zhu Zhu is to treat her illness. Could it be that the Bailey clan will attack me there? No matter what, I must be careful tomorrow. Ning Fan walked all the way to the Bamboo Palace. It was a palace built with golden bamboo. Outside the palace, as soon as the guards saw Ning Fan holding the invitation, they immediately welcomed him into the palace to take a seat. Inside the palace, rows of palace maids dressed in fine gauze were dancing gracefully. A faint fragrance filled the air. In the main hall, the Bamboo Sovereign sat at the head of the table. Below him were the seats of the 11 6th Revolution Pill Masters. Below them were the seats of the Void Fragmentation Realm Elders of the Bamboo Palace. After that were the seats of the other Void Refinement Realm Experts and 5th Revolution Pill Masters. Such an arrangement naturally showed how much importance the Bamboo Sovereign attached to treating Zhu Zhu. Ning Fan was not the first 6th Revolution Pill Master to come, and he would not be the last one either. Before him, there were already 7 6th Revolution Pill Masters, including 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters and 4 mid- and low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters. The 4 mid- and low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters were very polite to Ning Fan. When they saw him taking a seat, they immediately stood up and cupped their fists to greet him. As for the 3 high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Masters, they sized up Ning Fan with different expressions. Among the 3 of them, one of them came from the Northern Tree Sea. He was the Tree Lord of the Azure Life Sea. When he looked at Ning Fan, his eyes were filled with arrogance and disdain. This person had a very high opinion of himself. As the number 1 Pill Master of the Northern Tree Sea, his eyes were usually on the top of his head. He did not even put Gui Yuan Tai Su in his eyes. Even if it was a Pill Master at the same level as him, he would also look down on others. Since he looked down on Ning Fan, he naturally did not want to talk to him at all. After sizing him up, he smiled disdainfully and narrowed his eyes, pretending to sleep. The other high-grade 6th Revolution Pill Master came from the Eastern Tree Sea. He was the Chief Pill Master of the Vine Palace. His name was Zhu Hong. When he looked at Ning Fan, his eyes were filled with hostility. Needless to say, it was because Ning Fan had offended the Vine Sovereign. The last person came from the Southern Tree Sea. His name was Sun Yu. He was the Chief Pill Master of the Snow Willow Devil Palace. His expression was kind and friendly. When he looked at Ning Fan, his eyes were filled with smiles. After realizing that Ning Fan's medicine soul was slightly stronger than his, Sun Yu immediately cupped his fists and said politely, "Fellow Taoist Liu, you have a strong medicine soul power. You are indeed the person who can shatter the 6-colored ancient monument with your medicine soul power." Fellow Taoist Sun must be joking. Ning Fan sat beside Sun Yu and smiled politely at him. Then he cupped his fists and returned the greeting. Before he came to the banquet, he had already figured out the background of the 6th Revolution Pill Masters of the Tree World. Since the Azure Life Tree Lord and Zhu Hong did not like him, he naturally would not pay them any attention. Since Sun Yu was polite to him, he returned the favor. The two of them exchanged toasts and began to talk about their pill refinement techniques. The unique characteristic of Ning Fan's pill refinement techniques was that he had gathered the strengths of hundreds of schools of thought. The pill refinement technique that Sun Yu had learned was the orthodox Tao of burning wood of the tree world. Even though he did not have a wide range of knowledge, he had a very deep understanding of the Tao of burning wood. After chatting for a while, the two of them had a lot in common. Gradually, they began to talk more. Sun Yu thought of something and hesitated. In the end, he decided to remind Ning Fan, and asked using telepathy, "May I ask if fellow Taoist Lu has ever offended the Willow Sovereign?" The Willow Sovereign? Ning Fan recalled his encounter with Lu Haoyue and shook his head with a smile. Then he replied through telepathy, "No, I haven't." That's strange. If fellow Taoist has never offended the Willow Sovereign, why would the Willow Sovereign give such an order? Sun Yu shook his head in confusion. Then he reminded Ning Fan, "Fellow Taoist, please don't come to the South Tree Sea in the near future. Fellow Taoist, you have once angered the Vine Sovereign. She was so angry that she issued an arrest warrant for you. When the Willow Sovereign received the arrest warrant, she let out 3 laughs after seeing it, and gave an order. She ordered the cultivators of the Willow Palace to pay close attention to the movements around the Realm Gate. Once you arrive at the South Tree Sea, they are to invite you to the Willow Palace to stay for a while." In the eyes of Sun Yu and other people who did not know the truth, the Willow Sovereign's request for Ning Fan to stay in the Willow Palace was fake. Her real intention was to capture and imprison Ning Fan in the Willow Palace. Sun Yu naturally did not know that the Willow Sovereign had met Ning Fan once. She admired his profound Tao comprehension very much. After seeing the arrest warrant for Ning Fan, the Willow Sovereign immediately understood that Ning Fan had sneaked into the tree world from the rain world. The Willow Sovereign's order was really just to invite Ning Fan to the Willow Palace for a chat. She did not have any malicious intentions. "I see. Thank you for your reminder. I won't be going to the South Tree Sea in the near future. However, if fellow Taoist returns to the Willow Palace, please send my greetings to the Willow Sovereign. Just tell him that I'm busy with worldly affairs. I'm afraid I won't have the chance to go to the South Tree Sea and drink with him this time." Sun Yu reminded Ning Fan out of goodwill. Thus, Ning Fan naturally felt grateful. He also told Sun Yu that he had a friendly relationship with the Willow Sovereign. The Willow Sovereign's order was just an ordinary kind gesture. Sun Yu was slightly surprised. He did not expect that Ning Fan had a friendly relationship with the Willow Sovereign. After understanding this, Sun Yu was no longer worried that Ning Fan would be targeted by the South Tree Sea. He tried his best to invite Ning Fan to the South Tree Sea when he is free to have a chat and exchange pill refinement techniques. After 3 rounds of wine, the sound tablet in Sun Yu's storage pouch suddenly rang. The message was from one of Sun Yu's disciples. It seemed like something had happened, and they needed Sun Yu to rush back to his residence in the Jishui city to deal with it. Sun Yu frowned slightly and said to Ning Fan, "My disciples have a small problem in their pill refinement, and they want me to go back to deal with it. Sigh. I'll take my leave first. See you tomorrow." After bidding farewell to the Bamboo Sovereign, Sun Yu left the palace banquet. No one noticed that as Sun Yu was leaving, Grandmaster Zhu Hong from the Western Tree Sea looked at Sun Yu's back and sneered. The plan is about to begin. Not long after Sun Yu left, the palace banquet was about to come to an end. Tonight's banquet was only for the 11th 6th Revolution Pill Masters. Tomorrow morning would be the time to treat Zhu Zhu's strange illness. The Pill Masters also did not stay for long, and left one after another. Ning Fan also left. However, right after he left the banquet, Tang Xiong also left the banquet with his daughter from the Fu Sang clan. They quickly caught up with Ning Fan, and left together with him. "Fellow Taoist, please wait." Behind Tang Xiong was Miss Tang Yuan, who looked dejected. The heaven sealing technique that she was afflicted with had already been removed. However, after suffering from it, she obviously became much more obedient, and did not dare to find trouble with Ning Fan anymore. "What's the matter?" Ning Fan stopped and looked at Tang Xiong with a faint smile. The reason why I stopped fellow Taoist is to apologize to you. My daughter is spoiled and willful. She doesn't know the severity of her actions. She has offended fellow Taoists many times in the past. I hope that fellow Taoists can be magnanimous and not lower yourself to the same level as a little girl. Tang Xiong cupped his fists and smiled apologetically. Then he coughed a few times as if it affected his injuries. I'm not a little girl. Tang Yuan raised her head weakly and retorted. Tang Xiong immediately glared at her, and she did not dare to say anything else. She also did not dare to look at Ning Fan, fearing that she would be thrown into the nest of the demon beasts to fend for herself if she angered Ning Fan. Ning Fan could not help but find it a little funny. Even though Tang Yuan was unruly and willful, she was actually just a paper tiger. If he indulged her, she would give him face. If he was serious about her, she would submit to him in fear. Fellow Taoist, don't worry. Your daughter just had a small quarrel with me. I won't stoop to the level of a little girl. If fellow Taoist has nothing else to say, I'll take my leave first. Wait. I still have one more thing to ask fellow Taoist. Tang Xiong gritted his teeth and stopped Ning Fan again. What is it? Ning Fan was surprised. I want to ask fellow Taoist to accept my daughter as your concubine. When Tang Xiong said that, his face was full of helplessness. What? Father, what nonsense are you talking about? Why should I be the concubine of this bastard Liu Bei? Tang Yuan was instantly enraged. Her face was as red as a tomato. Fellow Taoist Tang, are you joking with me? Ning Fan asked with a frown. Tang Yuan was the little princess of the Fu Sang clan. Even though her appearance and aptitude were not first-rate, they were not bad at all. Even though the Fu Sang clan had declined, it was not difficult for them to find a Dao companion for Tang Yuan with their foundation. Why would they give this girl to Ning Fan as a concubine? If some small forces were to give their daughter to Ning Fan to please him, it would make sense. No matter how weak the Fu Sang clan was, it was impossible for them to do something like giving away their daughter for glory. Ning Fan was very puzzled. What was Tang Xiong's intention? Even though he did not hate Tang Yuan, he did not have a good impression of her either. Just as he was about to refuse, Tang Xiong suddenly gritted his teeth and took out a jade slip. Fu Sang is already at the end of its road. Fellow Taoists will understand my intentions after reading this jade slip. Ning Fan received the jade slip and scanned it with his spirit sense. As soon as he read the contents, he was shocked. It was a report from the northern Shuhai's Gomang country. The old demon of Fu Sang who was guarding the country had fallen. Originally, the old demon of Fu Sang still had 10 years of lifespan. However, a few days ago, a void fragmentation realm expert sneaked into the Gomang country and fought him secretly. That battle damaged the old demon of Fu Sang's foundation and damaged his lifespan. He originally had 10 years of lifespan left, but because of that battle, his life force was depleted. The old demon of Fu Sang had fallen a few days ago. After that, his corpse was taken away by someone. Other than telling the Bamboo Sovereign, the Fu Sang clan had kept this news a secret from the outside world. The old demon of Fu Sang's lifespan was depleted by a void fragmentation realm expert, and he died. That void fragmentation realm expert was certainly a great enemy of the Fu Sang clan. Tang Xiong felt that the Fu Sang clan was about to face a great calamity. That was why he decided to give his daughter to Ning Fan. In Tang Xiong's impression, Ning Fan had an extremely terrifying baleful qi. It was highly possible that he had killed void fragmentation realm experts before, and he had the ability to protect Tang Yuan. Besides, after getting along with him in the Gomang country, Tang Xiong believed that Ning Fan was trustworthy. If he gave his daughter to Ning Fan to take care of, nothing would go wrong. Tang Xiong was going to entrust his daughter to Ning Fan. He had a premonition that the Fu Sang clan was not far from extinction. If the Fu Sang clan is destroyed, then so be it. When it reaches its peak, it will eventually decline. It was all fate and could not be forced. However, the only thing that Tang Xiong was worried about was his daughter. He did not want his daughter to perish together with the Fu Sang clan. If Tang Yuan can survive, at least a little of the Fu Sang clan's bloodline would be preserved. Fellow Taoist, what do you think? Are you willing to accept my request? Tang Xiong heaved a long sigh and closed his eyes. Ning Fan was not the only one who could sense the impending calamity. Anyone who was in the midst of it could feel the uneasiness in their hearts. The bamboo sovereign was uneasy. The bamboo palace was also uneasy. However, they only thought that their uneasiness was caused by the madness of the ancestral tree. Tang Xiong, on the other hand, could foresee that he was not far away from death. If it wasn't a matter of life and death, he would not ask Ning Fan to take in his beloved daughter. Bang! Tang Xiong suddenly knelt in front of Ning Fan. His old face turned red. He had never knelt before anyone in his life. However, for his beloved daughter, he was willing to abandon his dignity and kneel. Father! Tang Yuan was stunned. She had never seen her father kneel down and beg for help. She did not know that the Fu Sang clan was already on the verge of destruction. She did not know how sad her father felt when he knelt. Her eyes were filled with panic, and she did not know what to do. She tried to help Tang Xiong up but failed. Ning Fan's heart skipped a beat. He was also moved by Tang Xiong's love for his daughter. The cultivation world was cold and indifferent. It did not value kinship but cultivation. As an ambitious and ruthless person, Tang Xiong refused to submit to heaven and earth. However, he was willing to humiliate himself for his beloved daughter. Ning Fan recalled his mother whom he had never met. He recalled the scenes he saw in the Weeping Blood Forest. His cold heart was also touched. If he was in trouble, his mother would certainly be willing to kneel to someone, the love of a father, and the will of a mother. How many cultivators left the mountain villages and rashly severed their ties with the mortal world, and abandoned their parents just to pursue immortality that was as ethereal as smoke? Those old monsters who boasted that their Tao hearts were as hard as stone and as shrewd as the sea wholeheartedly sought immortality, but it was difficult for them to achieve it. If they could not even be human, how could they become immortals? Fellow Taoist, please rise. I will accept your request. After I complete the task entrusted by the bamboo sovereign, and heal the ancestral tree, I will bring Miss Tang Yuan and leave the Eastern Tree Sea together. It won't be difficult to protect her for the rest of her life. Before that, Miss Tang Yuan will stay by your side temporarily. Ning Fan helped Tang Xiong up and gave Tang Yuan a sidelong glance. She was looking at him with her heart in a mess. Her expression was extremely complicated. Tang Yuan wanted to cry but had no tears. She did not understand what was going on at all. Why did her father give her to Ning Fan as a concubine? Damn it! When she thought of marrying Ning Fan as a concubine in the future, she was so resentful that she wanted to bang her head on a piece of tofu and die. Just as he was about to taunt Ning Fan, he immediately recalled Ning Fan's terrifying abilities and techniques. That made him a little scared. When she recalled that her father, who had a tough personality, actually knelt to someone for her, she felt extremely bitter. She wanted to cry but she could not. On second thought, her father gave her to Ning Fan for no reason. Could it be that Ning Fan had done something bad and forced her father to do such a thing? It's possible. It's very possible. It's very possible. Ning Fan was a high-grade 6th Revolution pill refinement master, who was favored by the bamboo sovereign. His status was extraordinary. If he threatens the Fu Sang clan, the declining Fu Sang clan would most likely have no choice but to compromise. Master, you are despicable. You set up a scheme to force me to marry you. Even if you get my body, you won't be able to get my heart. Tang Yuan said to Ning Fan through telepathy while gritting her teeth. Ning Fan shook his head and did not explain anything to her. He just reminded Tang Xiong. I'm afraid something big is going to happen soon. Unless it's absolutely necessary, don't leave Jishui City. If it's possible, when I leave the Eastern Tree Sea, I will bring all the members of the Fu Sang clan with me to help all of you escape the calamity. The Longdan Palace was the residence of Nan Shuhai's Grandmaster Sun Yu in Jishui City. After receiving the telepathic messages from his disciples, Sun Yu hurriedly rushed back to the palace. As soon as he entered the palace, he saw more than 10 of his disciples standing in the pill refinement room with empty eyes. Their eyes were lifeless like walking corpses. A sense of danger suddenly came from behind. Sun Yu quickly turned around and saw a silver-haired old man standing behind him. His eyes were blood red, and his body was surrounded by the aura force of the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. You are. Sun Yu's eyes were filled with vigilance. Before he could finish his sentence, he saw the silver-haired old man suddenly raise his finger and infuse it with his magic power. Countless threads of magic power that were thinner than silk spread out from his finger and pierced into Sun Yu's body. Sun Yu was a void inquiry stage expert after all. However, the moment the threads pierced his body, the primordial spirit in his dantian immediately dissipated. The dissipation of his primordial spirit meant that Sun Yu had died. However, he was not dead yet. Instead, he was still alive in a strange state. His eyes became empty and blank. Looking at the silver-haired old man, his body suddenly fell to his knees stiffly. Sun Yu greets, my lord. After Sun Yu strangely knelt down and surrendered, another old man suddenly walked out from behind the silver-haired old man. He was the chief pill refinement master of the Western Tree Si Zhuhong. I didn't expect this. I've been competing with Sun Yu in pill refinement all my life. In the end, he has become Elder Wan's puppet. Elder Wan's divine ability is so strong that I really admire it, Zhu Hong said respectfully to the silver-haired old man. He did not dare to show any disrespect to the silver-haired old man. Even though this silver-haired old man was just an old monster at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, he was much more dangerous than ordinary second heavenly layer and third heavenly layer void fragmentation realm old monsters. He was Wan Chongkong, the crazy devil who massacred the other Eastern Tree Seas alone 10,000 years ago. Even the Bamboo Sovereign and the Willow Sovereign could not capture him. He was the most important part of the Vine Sovereign's plan to destroy the Bamboo Palace. His devil veins had an extremely terrifying ability which could directly turn his enemies into his puppets. Anyone with a lower cultivation base than him would not be able to escape from the control of his devil veins. Even if his opponent's cultivation base was 1 or 2 levels higher than his, he could still control them as long as he was willing to pay a certain price. 10,000 years ago, when I killed my way into the Eastern Tree Sea, I had already planted enough chess pieces. Tomorrow, I will control millions of puppets and cooperate with the Vine Sovereign to destroy the Bamboo Palace. As for that crazy Liu Bei who dared to offend the Vine Sovereign, I'll take this opportunity to kill him as well. After tomorrow, the Bamboo Sovereign will surely be shocked. Who knows how many of his trusted subordinates are my puppets? This old man is really looking forward to this good show of killing each other. Chapter 592. One night passed. Ning Fan's figure flashed and appeared outside the Bamboo Imperial Palace. He slowly walked into the palace and went straight to the main hall. Today, 11 Sixth Revolution Pill Masters and 16 Fifth Revolution Pill Masters, including him, would enter the small Kiliacosm, where Zhu Zhu was to diagnose his illness. Below the stairs stood 4 Sixth Revolution Pill Masters and 3 Fifth Revolution Pill Masters. Ning Fan was the 8th Pill Master to arrive. Not long after Ning Fan arrived, the other Pill Masters arrived one after another. When all 27 Pill Masters arrived, a few rays of faint green light suddenly flashed in the main hall. When the green light dispersed, the Bamboo Sovereign's figure appeared. The 6th Elder and the 8th Elder stood on his left and right respectively. The 6th Elder's Dao title was Ling Zhu. He was an old-fashioned cultivator from the Profound Sect. He had a cultivation base at the first heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation realm, and cultivated the Tao of Tree God. He hated devil cultivators who killed people like Scything Flax the most. Because of that, he once disliked Ning Fan. The 8th Elder was King Bai Li. His cultivation base was already at the unrivaled origin returning realm. Today, King Bai Li's expression was not as lifeless as before. His eyes were filled with domineering arrogance. Ever since he appeared, he had only glanced at Ning Fan once. After that, he never looked at him again. Ning Fan glanced at King Bai Li from the corner of his eyes and frowned slightly. He had met King Bai Li face to face once and secretly spied on him a few times. Each time he spied on King Bai Li, the latter's eyes were blank and numb. Today, however, his eyes were like a normal person and there was nothing unusual about them in this state. King Bai Li gave Ning Fan a faint sense of danger. I'm very grateful to all of you for coming all the way here to help me cure Zuzhu. Today, I promise that as long as you can cure Zuzhu's illness, I will certainly reward you handsomely. Zuzhu has been sealed in the bamboo world by me. That is a small kiliacosm that exists in the sky above Jishui City. Everyone, please follow me to the bamboo world and see Zuzhu with your own eyes. Let's see if you can cure him. As soon as the bamboo sovereign finished speaking, he flicked his sleeve and a bright green light shone. The green light engulfed everyone at the scene and turned into a ray of light, flying towards the sky above Jishui City. The speed of the bamboo sovereign was extremely fast. It was far from what Ning Fan could compare with. The light sped all the way up into the sky. The higher they flew, the stronger the heavenly winds in the sky, and the greater the resistance they had to face. In the vast sky, the wind was like a blade that could easily kill golden core and nascent soul cultivators. Such a height was not something an ordinary cultivator could fly up to. The bamboo emperor's flight light passed through the heavenly wind layer and flew up for tens of millions of feet, entering the astral wind layer above the sky dome. The power of the astral wind was very terrifying and could easily tear apart the body of a soul formation cultivator. At this height, some fifth revolution pill refinement masters who were only at the divine transformation realm could no longer withstand the wind pressure. If not for the protection of the bamboo emperor's green light, these spirit-severing pill masters would have died in the astral winds. The bamboo emperor flew all the way to the peak of the sky and flew for a full 2 hours. The astral wind in this place had completely disappeared, turning into a black void wind. The might of the void wind was enough to tear the body of an ordinary void glimpse stage cultivator apart. If the void wind turns into a storm of a large enough scale, even a void pierce stage or absolute void stage cultivator might not be able to escape unscathed. All the 6th revolution pill refinement masters on the scene were void refinement realm cultivators. They were not afraid of the heavenly wind and astral wind, but they could not help but be wary of the void wind. Even the high-grade 6th revolution pill refinement masters like the vast sea tree lord and Zhu Hong, who had seen great scenes before, wore solemn expressions. Sun Yu, on the other hand, looked extraordinarily calm. No, rather than saying he was calm, it would be better to say that his expression today was a little numb. There was no smile nor fear. Ning Fan glanced at Sun Yu from the corner of his eyes and felt a little strange. During the palace banquet last night, Sun Yu was still chatting happily with him, and they were very close. However, after they met today, Sun Yu did not even greet him. His attitude was extremely cold. It had only been one night, and Sun Yu's attitude towards him had actually changed so drastically. It was really strange. While Ning Fan was still thinking, the bamboo emperor's voice entered everyone's ears. The realm gate that leads to the bamboo world is at the peak of the sky above Jishui. It is in the void wind eye. The bamboo emperor said indifferently. What? The void wind eye? As soon as they heard that the realm gate that leads to the bamboo world was actually located in the void wind eye, other than Ning Fan, Sun Yu and the 2 elders of the bamboo palace, all the pill refinement masters' expressions changed drastically. The void wind eye was a vortex of wind that was naturally formed at the place where the void wind was the strongest. The scale of the void wind in the wind eye was far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Even ordinary void fragmentation realm cultivators would not dare to enter the wind eye easily. The bamboo palace hid the ancestral bamboo in the bamboo world, while the realm gate that leads to the bamboo world was hidden in the void wind eye at the peak of the sky. If ordinary people want to sneak into the bamboo world, they would have to face 2 problems. Firstly, they must have the confidence to pass through the void wind eye. Secondly, they must have the token to open the realm gate. Only with these 2 prerequisites, outsiders could enter the bamboo world. Behind the bamboo world, there was still the ancestral bamboo. Within the ancestral bamboo, there was even a tree spirit at the 3rd heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Even if ordinary people managed to sneak into the bamboo world, they would not be able to do anything to the ancestral bamboo because of the existence of the tree spirit. The bamboo palace hid the ancestral bamboo in this place. It was very safe. The traveling light of the tree sovereign flew all the way to the peak of the sky. This place was the highest place that the cultivators of the lower worlds could fly to. Any higher than that would be blocked by countless rays of realm-breaking light. If one breaks through this layer of realm-breaking light, he or she would be able to leave the tree world and ascend to the four heavens immortal world, which was a higher plane. Unfortunately, the destructive power of the realm-breaking light was extremely terrifying. Even a rogue immortal who was well prepared would not be able to pass through it. Ningfan's wind mist finger was no doubt powerful. However, his comprehension of samsara had stagnated and his cultivation base was still far from the level of a rogue immortal. Even if he uses the wind mist finger, it would be very difficult for him to break through the realm-breaking light. Ningfan withdrew his gaze and no longer looked at the realm-breaking light. This light was too dazzling. If he looks at it for a long time, it would even cause his sea of consciousness to feel intense pain. He lowered his head and looked at the black wind eye, which was as massive as an ocean. The black wind in the wind eye twisted. A gigantic void refinement realm bird that was growing in the sky was sucked into the wind eye from afar. It was unknown what kind of demon it was. Its chi was as powerful as a void-pierced stage cultivator. When it spread its wings, it was 6,000 zhang in size. However, as soon as it was sucked into the wind eye, it immediately let out a blood-curdling shriek. Its extremely powerful demon body was torn into countless pieces by the void wind. Even a void-pierced stage ferocious beast will definitely die after entering the wind eye. Each of the pill refinement masters could not help but swallow their saliva. Masters, please follow behind me carefully. Don't stray too far away from me. With the protection of my abilities, you won't be in any danger when you enter the wind eye of the void. If anyone leaves my side and dies in the wind eye, I'm afraid I won't be able to save them in time even if I want to. As soon as the bamboo sovereign finished speaking, he flicked his sleeves again. Countless rays of green light rolled up and carried everyone into the wind eye of the void. A long tunnel was formed in the wind eye which led straight to the other side of the void. At the end of the void tunnel stood a gigantic door of void light. This door was actually made of the realm-breaking light. Without a token, no one could enter the light door. The bamboo sovereign took out a green bamboo token and waved it at the door. The door trembled and shone brightly. Countless rays of light shot out and engulfed everyone at the scene. At the next moment, everyone entered the world inside the light door. It was a world of bamboo that stretched as far as the eye could see. At the center of this world, there was a gigantic ancestral bamboo that towered into the sky. Countless layers of seals were placed on the ancestral bamboo. Even so, it was rumored that the ancestral bamboo still had an extremely heavy ferocious chi. The sky was filled with emerald green bamboo leaves. Even the clouds were green in color and carried the fragrance of bamboo. Ningfan spread his spirit sense. The wood spiritual chi in this world was extremely dense. It was the best place to cultivate wood elemental cultivation methods. After entering this world, he felt a sense of comfort in his body and blood. The reason why his body felt so comfortable was because there was an ancestral bamboo growing in this place. Ningfan's minor 5 elements physique had improved a lot after he devoured the barbaric dragon tree previously. The ancestral bamboo that grew in this place contained countless times more wood spiritual chi than the barbaric dragon tree. If it wasn't because of the bamboo sovereign's supervision, he almost wanted to snatch the ancestral bamboo away and devour it to improve the wood elemental constitution of his minor 5 elements physique. At the same time, it could also improve his rain intent to an extremely terrifying level. It's not difficult to attain the first grade. Should I snatch the ancestral bamboo away? The thought of snatching the ancestral bamboo rose in Ningfan's mind. However, he dismissed it at the next moment. The bamboo sovereign was watching this place, and there was also a third heavenly layer void fragmentation realm tree spirit inside the ancestral bamboo. If Ningfan wants to snatch the ancestral bamboo, he would first have to fight the bamboo sovereign and the tree spirit. His chances of winning would be slim. Moreover, Ningfan had received a favor from Yu Huang before. Yu Huang's identity was the former bamboo sovereign. With this relationship, Ningfan could not do something like snatching the treasures from the bamboo palace. The reason why his bloodline felt so comfortable was because he possessed the Fu Li demon blood. According to what Ningfan knew, this ancestral bamboo was planted by a certain bamboo sovereign. The ferocious beast Nieli was suppressed beneath it. Nieli was once a Fuli, but he was no longer a Fuli. He had lost all of his bloodline. The members of the Nieli clan were the slaves of the Fuli clan for generations. Unless they break the seal of sin, their status as slaves would never disappear. Standing in the bamboo world, Ningfan felt as if he could hear the Nieli that was suppressed beneath this land calling him. This place is the bamboo world. That towering tree is the ancestral bamboo. I've set countless seals on the ancestral bamboo. The tree spirit inside cannot escape and it won't harm any grandmasters. Grandmasters, please get close to the ancestral bamboo and use your spirit sense and medicine soul to diagnose its illness. The bamboo sovereign suddenly paused halfway through his words. His words were interrupted by the urgent ringing of the sound transmission jade in his storage pouch. The bamboo sovereign took out the sound transmission jade. As soon as he heard the voice transmission from it, his expression remained unchanged but his eyes were filled with astonishment. He turned his head and gave a few instructions to the sixth elder and King Bai Li. After that, he apologized to all the pill refinement masters including Ningfan. I'm sorry. Some unforeseen events have happened in Jishui City. The palace lord and the elders don't know how to deal with it, so they ordered me to return to handle it. I'll leave the bamboo world for now. There are 2 elders here who will be responsible for protecting all the grandmasters. After I'm done with the mundane affairs in the city, I'll return here to fetch all of you back to the bamboo palace. During this period of time, I hope that all of you can work together to diagnose the cause of the illness of the ancestral bamboo and come up with a solution to cure it. As soon as the bamboo sovereign finished speaking, he did not say anything else to the others. In a flash, he returned to where he came from and vanished without a trace. He was not worried that the group of pill refinement masters would plot against the ancestral bamboo. He was also not worried that the ancestral bamboo would hurt them. The countless seals that he had personally planted were enough to seal the ancestral bamboo's tree spirit, preventing it from harming the pill refinement masters here. He left the sixth elder and King Bai Li behind to keep an eye on the pill refinement masters. Even though there were people from other parts of the tree ocean, they were all void refinement realm and divine transformation realm cultivators. Thus, they could not play any tricks under the eyes of the 2 elders. The bamboo sovereign had left. The moment the bamboo sovereign left, the uneasiness that had been lingering in Ningfan's heart reached its peak. At this moment, Jishui City was in an unprecedented and strange turmoil. At the same time, there was also a huge change in the bamboo world. King Bai Li's eyes suddenly turned blood-red. He raised his right palm, and it turned into a blood-red tiger claw. He launched a surprise attack at the sixth elder's back. The strength of that claw was comparable to a void fragmentation realm attack. Under the sneak attack, the sixth elder, Lingzhu, was caught off guard. He was directly struck by King Bai Li's claw and suffered severe injuries. Like a kite with a broken string, he fell from the sky. After stabilizing his body with great difficulty, Lingzhu swallowed the sweet blood in his throat and glared at King Bai Li with extreme shock and anger. Eighth elder, what do you mean by this? Not long after the bamboo sovereign left, King Bai Li suddenly attacked and severely injured the sixth elder. His attack seemed to be well prepared. It was as if he already knew that the bamboo sovereign would leave due to some matters and gave him a chance to launch a sneak attack on the sixth elder. Ningfan's eyes flashed with surprise. All along, he had always thought that King Bai Li was only plotting against him. That was why he did all those strange things. At the moment when the bamboo sovereign left, he had been keeping his guard up against King Bai Li. He was afraid that King Bai Li would join forces with the sixth elder to attack him. However, he did not expect that King Bai Li's first target was not him but Lingzhu, who was also an elder of the Tree Ocean. Ningfan was not the only one who could not figure out King Bai Li's motive. Even Lingzhu, who was the victim of the sneak attack, was shocked and dumbfounded. Lingzhu could not figure out why King Bai Li would attack him. He did not have any grudges with King Bai Li. Moreover, if King Bai Li attacks Ningfan, it would only be considered as a personal grudge. Even if King Bai Li kills Ningfan, the bamboo sovereign would only reprimand King Bai Li. However, if King Bai Li attacks Ningfan, who was the eighth elder, the nature of the matter would be different. No matter what, the bamboo sovereign would not forgive King Bai Li for harming his colleague in the bamboo palace. Why did you sneak attack me? Give me a reason. Ling Zhu questioned furiously. While they were talking, Ling Zhu secretly swallowed a healing pill to heal the injuries in his body. He was also on guard against King Bai Li's next attack. As for the reason, I was ordered by my master to kill all the cultivators in this world, unseal the spirit of the ancestral bamboo, release the ferocious beasts of the evil fire tribe, overturn the eastern bamboo and annihilate the bamboo palace. This is the reason why I attacked you. You can die now. Killing intent rose in King Bai Li's eyes. He sneered like a cold-blooded killer. However, in the deepest part of his eyes, there was a trace of struggle and pain. He didn't want to hurt anyone in the bamboo palace. He didn't want to betray the bamboo palace. He didn't want to bring shame to Bai Li, but he couldn't control his body. His body obeyed his master's order to kill everyone in this world. His heart couldn't resist. He was like a puppet that was being controlled by someone. All his words and actions were under the surveillance of his master. His situation was even worse than a puppet. A puppet didn't have memories and couldn't feel sorrow. He had memories and consciousness. He was once controlled by someone like a puppet, killing all his clansmen and turning them into living puppets. At that moment, he was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. He was ordered by his master to send assassins to assassinate Ning Fan. However, he still retained some consciousness and didn't completely carry out his master's order. The assassins he sent didn't have the strength to kill Ning Fan. The assassins he sent were just people who were going to die. Those assassins were all living puppets. They were all his clansmen. Just like him, they were being controlled by someone who was neither dead nor alive. There was only one motive for him to send his clansmen to their deaths. It was to let his clansmen who had become living puppets obtain freedom after death. Bai Li King looked at Ning Fan again. His eyes were filled with a trace of pleading. He wanted Ning Fan to kill him and free him. However, this sentence went against his master's will. Thus he couldn't say it out loud. He had sent out battle invitations several times, hinting Ning Fan to kill his clansmen and himself. At this moment, what Bai Li King wanted was to die in Ning Fan's hands and escape from the fate of being a living puppet. However, his body didn't listen to his command. It rushed towards Ling Zhu. He raised his hand and took out a gigantic millstone magic treasure, swearing to kill Ling Zhu on the spot. You're courting death. Bai Li, even though you have the unrivaled origin returning realm cultivation base, it's still wishful thinking to kill a void fragmentation realm expert like me. Ling Zhu was so angry that he laughed. He raised his hand and took out a golden horsetail whisk, preparing to counterattack Bai Li King. Each of the pill refinement masters didn't even dare to breathe loudly. All of them retreated thousands of li away from the battle between the two of them. The feeling of uneasiness in Ning Fan's heart became stronger. At the moment when Ling Zhu took out the golden horsetail whisk, Sun Yu, who had been staying still all this while, suddenly rushed towards Ling Zhu's back. He held a silver jade slip in his hand and smashed it. At the next moment, an illusory silhouette of a silver-haired old man flew out from the silver jade slip. The moment the silver-haired old man appeared, Ning Fan's alarm reached its peak. The silver-haired old man didn't even look at Ning Fan. Perhaps, in his opinion, the person who needed to be killed the most was not Ning Fan but Ling Zhu. Morning technique, birth centipede. The silver-haired old man pointed his finger at Ling Zhu's back. His appearance was out of Ling Zhu's expectation. The power of the silver-haired old man's finger turned into countless silver threads and pierced into the flesh on Ling Zhu's back. At the moment when the threads pierced into Ling Zhu's back, those threads seemed to have turned into blood-sucking leeches, sucking away half of his primordial spirit power. Ling Zhu was already severely injured. After losing half of his primordial spirit power, his chi immediately weakened. He painfully activated his horsetail whisk magic treasure to repel Bai Li King's millstone. Then he turned around and glared at the silver-haired old man. Wan Changkong, it's you. I wonder which part of your primordial spirit is here today. You don't need to know. The silver-haired old man suddenly pulled the silver threads, sucking away all of Ling Zhu's primordial spirit power. At the next moment, Ling Zhu's eyes turned hollow. He turned into a puppet that looked like a walking corpse and knelt before the silver-haired old man in the sky. Ling Zhu was unwilling. There was a strong sense of unwillingness in the depths of his soul. He was unwilling to kneel before Wan Changkong. However, his will could not be transmitted to his body. The moment he turned into a puppet, he had already become Wan Changkong's puppet. He no longer had the ability to resist. He's Wan Changkong. He's the puppet sovereign of the West Tree Sea, Wan Changkong. He has 12 void fragmentation realm clones. The Azure Life Tree Lord was shocked. Puppet sovereign. It's such a long time ago. I didn't expect someone in the tree world to still remember it. The silver-haired old man smiled coldly. He activated the countless thin puppet threads between his fingers. Beside him stood the 3 puppets of Bai Li King, Sun Yu and Ling Zhu. As for Zhu Hong, who was standing with the other pill refinement masters, he let out a loud laugh and flew to the back of the silver-haired old man. Elder Wan, you still need to borrow the power of my medicine soul to unseal the ferocious beast Nieli. Now you need to protect me well. I don't need to do anything about the matter of killing the pill refinement masters here, right? Zhu Hong asked with a smile. You don't need to do anything. With one of my fragmented primordial spirit clones guarding this place, it's enough to sweep through all of them. The silver-haired old man's eyes suddenly shifted to Ning Fan, and said with a cold smile. You are Liu Bei? Tung Xianro was captured by you? I'm very curious. With your mere void refinement realm cultivation base, how did you manage to capture Tung Xianro, who is at the void fragmentation realm? Your strength shouldn't be weak, right? Chi.At the moment when Wan Changkong sneered, countless silver threads suddenly appeared beneath the feet of all the pill refinement masters. Each of the 5th revolution and 6th revolution pill refinement masters did not even have a chance to resist. All of them were pierced by the threads. In just an instant, all the pill refinement masters except Ning Fan had their primordial spirits and demon souls destroyed by Wan Changkong, turning them into living puppets that were neither dead nor alive. Ning Fan was the only one who seemed to have sensed the appearance of the threads the moment they appeared. He quickly retreated. At the same time, black devil flames wrapped around his body, burning all the threads that got close to him into ashes, preventing him from being turned into a puppet by Wan Changkong. Even though he managed to escape the attack, Ning Fan's heart was still filled with astonishment. If he had been a little slower in retreating just now, he would have been turned into a living puppet by Wan Changkong just like the other pill refinement masters. He stared at the silver-haired old man coldly. His eyes were unprecedentedly solemn. This person was Wan Changkong, the mad devil who massacred the Nether Luo clan 10,000 years ago. From the words of the vast sea tree lord, Ning Fan learned that Wan Changkong had 12 void fragmentation realm clones, and the one in front of him was one of them. This Wan Changkong's ability is really terrifying. What kind of ability is it exactly? Oh, you actually managed to block a strike from me? Interesting. However, I wonder if you can block a strike from it. Wan Changkong sneered and moved the threads between his fingers. Then he took out a purifying bottle magic treasure and held it in the air. At the next moment, a ferocious and bloodthirsty roar suddenly resounded from the ancestral bamboo in the distance. A drop of fiery red liquid was placed in the purifying bottle magic treasure. As the bottle was tilted, the fiery red liquid dripped onto the gigantic ancestral bamboo. The seals on the entire ancestral bamboo suddenly burned and were all destroyed. At this moment, the insane tree spirit that was sealed in the ancestral bamboo was freed. On the entire ancestral bamboo, countless branches turned into devil hands and devil eyes grew on countless bamboo leaves. The ancestral bamboo rose from the ground and turned into a gigantic tree devil with a 3rd heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivation base. At the moment when it turned into a devil, it suddenly knelt down in Wan Changkong's direction. He was also Wan Changkong's biological puppet. 10,000 years ago, the tree spirit of the ancestral bamboo went crazy. However, it was not because he had gone mad but because he was turned into a puppet by Wan Changkong. Zhu Hong Ling Zhu, by Li Sun Yu, go and unseal the 4 ferocious beasts under the bamboo world. I want to bring this tree devil who is at the 3rd fragmentation realm, and exchange a few blows with little friend Liu Bei. Kill him slowly. At this moment, Jishui City was in a state of chaos. Countless cultivators were killing each other. Blood flowed like a river. 11 silver-haired old men who looked exactly the same were hiding in different places of my country, coldly watching the battle between the cultivators. Chapter 593. With a flash, the Bamboo Emperor descended from the sky dome and appeared in the sky above Jishui City. When he witnessed the tragic scene in Jishui City with his own eyes, he couldn't contain his shock. What's going on? The Bamboo Emperor received a voice transmission from a cultivator in the Bamboo Hall, claiming that a large number of cultivators were fighting in Jishui City. He hurried back to Jishui City and saw a large number of cultivators killing each other in Jishui City. Hundreds of Divine Transformation Realm and Void Refinement Realm cultivators from the Western, Southern and Northern Tree Seas were slaughtering wantonly on Jishui Long Street. These people all had blood-red eyes, and they would kill anyone they saw. If they encountered a low-level cultivator, they would kill them with a wave of their hand. If they encountered cultivators of the same cultivation realm, they would self-detonate without a care and perish together with the other party. The Bamboo Emperor would not have been so shocked if it was just cultivators from the other forest ocean killing people in Jishui. What shocked the Bamboo Emperor the most was that many of the Eastern Tree Seas tree clans that belonged to the Bamboo Hall were also slaughtering wantonly in Jishui City, even killing their own clansmen. Even the god envoys, venerated elders, and hall masters of the Bamboo Hall were madly attacking the cultivators of the Bamboo Hall. The Bamboo Emperor led a group of pill refiners to the forbidden area of the Bamboo World, and it only took 4 hours. In the 4 hours after he left Jishui, a great change happened to Jishui. The 8th branch of the Bamboo Hall, inside the Evil Bamboo Hall. At this moment, Temple Master Evil Bamboo's eyes were blood-red as he waved his butcher's knife to kill the elders and divine messengers in the temple. He was once a benevolent elder with a void-pierced stage cultivation base. He was once trusted and respected by his subordinates in the palace. But at this moment he was waving his butcher knife and chopping his subordinates into minced meat. His eyes no longer had the slightest hint of benevolence, only bloodthirsty madness. His eyes were filled with deep pain and reluctance. He couldn't bear to kill his subordinates, but he couldn't control his body at all. He could only watch helplessly as his former subordinates died by his own hands. At this moment, he was a living puppet. He had his own consciousness, but he was being controlled by someone else. It's Wan Chongkong. Wan Chongkong was the one who manipulated me and made me kill my subordinates. Stop right now. Kill me, who will kill me? He cried out in pain from the bottom of his heart, but no one could hear him. In the end, he had slaughtered all the revered elders and divine envoys of the entire Evil Bamboo Palace. A beautiful woman in blue entered the Fiend Bamboo Palace and looked at the Fiend Bamboo Palace Lord in disbelief. Looking at the corpses on the ground, her eyes were filled with anger and disappointment. Husband, why did you do this? Why, now that Jishui City has suddenly fallen into chaos, I was worried that you would be in danger. I didn't expect you to do such a crazy thing and kill all the cultivators in the palace. Why did you do this? This woman was Temple Master Shaju's Dao companion, and the love of his life. She did not understand why her husband would suddenly go crazy and kill all the cultivators in the hall. Lianer, run. Hall Master Shaju wanted to tell the beautiful woman to run, but he couldn't make a sound. His heart was filled with anxiety, but his face had a numb and bloodthirsty expression. Chi. The butcher's knife slashed down and the beautiful woman was split into 2 halves. Even her demon soul did not manage to escape. Hall Master Evil Bamboo's heart was bleeding, and he was filled with grief and indignation. He couldn't control his body and could only watch helplessly as he killed his beloved wife with his own hands. Wan Chongkong, I'm going to tear you into 10,000 pieces. Tear you into 10,000 pieces. Lianer, I'm sorry. Hall Master Evil Bamboo wanted to cry out in pain, but he could not make any sound. He could not say anything that went against Wan Chongkong's will. Outside the palace where the Cypress Star clan was stationed, layers of formation light were activated. Those formations were personally set up by the old ancestor of the Cypress Star clan. It was enough to defend against the attacks of ordinary absolute void stage experts. Inside the palace, a young man with green pupils was organizing the members of the Cypress Star clan to resist the riot in Jishui City. This young man was the young clan leader of the Cypress Star clan. He was the one who had received the order to pass the invitation to Ningfan that day. Young lord, I have already found out the reason for the chaos in Jishui City. Currently, there are 3,749 cultivators in Jishui City, who suddenly went crazy and are killing wantonly in the city. Those who went crazy include cultivators from the other Tree Sea, members of the Tree clan from our eastern Tree Sea, and even cultivators from the Bamboo Palace. Among them, there are a total of 69 Void Refinement Realm cultivators. The reason why they went crazy is unknown. Should we immediately report this to the old ancestor? A few Void Glimpse stage-old monsters knelt in front of the young man with green pupils. Their expressions were unusually respectful. The old ancestor they were talking about was the third elder of the Bamboo Palace. He was a dignified cultivator at the first heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. The old ancestor is the third elder of the Bamboo Palace. Now that Jishui City is in chaos, the old ancestor must be leading his people to deal with the chaos in the city. How about this? Send a voice transmission to the old ancestor about all the information that you have found out. Perhaps it will be helpful to the old ancestor in quelling the chaos in Jishui City. Just as the young man with green pupils finished speaking, a guard suddenly entered the main hall and reported loudly, "Young lord, there are hundreds of members of the Bailey clan outside the hall. They said that they want to see you. Please remove the formation light of the palace and come out to meet them." People of the Bailey clan, huh? Did they say why they want to see me? They didn't say it clearly. The guard said while shaking his head. They didn't say it clearly? I have received information that someone witnessed some of the members of the Bailey clan participating in the chaos in Jishui City. They killed thousands of cultivators on the long street. Now it's hard to tell whose friend or foe is in Jishui City. Anyone might suddenly go crazy and become the enemy. The members of the Bailey clan want to see me, but they didn't say their purpose clearly. This is very suspicious. Pass on my order. Quickly reinforce the formation light of the palace. Don't let the members of the Bailey clan enter the hall. I suspect that all of them have gone crazy and come with bad intentions. Yes. I will pass on the order to reinforce the formation light of the palace right now. Just as the guard was about to pass on the order to reinforce the formation light, a green light suddenly floated in the main hall. An old man with green pupils appeared. He was the third elder of the Bamboo Palace. The third elder seemed to have heard the words of the young man with green pupils. He nodded satisfactorily and praised him. "Xing Heir, you are indeed the most outstanding member of the younger generation of our Cypress Star clan. You can see that the members of the Bailey clan have come with bad intentions at first glance. Your guess is right. All the members of the Bailey clan are enemies and can't be let into the hall at will. You know that the members of the Bailey clan aren't crazy. All the rioters in Jishui City aren't crazy either. All the rioters in the city are controlled by others. They are refined into puppets and are ordered to cause chaos in Jishui City. Their purpose is to destroy the Bamboo Palace. This is a premeditated action." What? They aren't crazy, but they are refined into puppets. The young man with green pupils and the other members of the Cypress Star clan were shocked when they heard the words of the third elder. However, they suppressed their shock and bowed respectfully to the third elder. "Greetings, old ancestor." After that, the young man with green pupils calmed his mind and asked, "Old ancestor, are you saying that the chaos in Jishui City today is a trap carefully arranged by someone? These rioters aren't crazy, but they are controlled and become puppets. They deliberately gathered in Jishui City in order to destroy the Bamboo Palace in one fell swoop? But how is this possible? The rioters this time are all living people. This is absolutely true. How can they be puppets? Ordinary puppets were dead things. Some puppets were refined from the corpses of dead people and dead beasts. Some puppets were made from metal, wood and other materials. No matter what method was used to make the puppets, they all had one thing in common. None of the puppets had life. They were all dead puppets. The breath of the dead puppet was very different from the breath of a living person. It was impossible for a cultivator who had reached the spirit-severing or void refinement realm to not be able to distinguish the difference between a dead puppet and a living person. The cultivation of the young man with green pupils wasn't high, but he could also see that the rioters in the city were all living people. It was impossible for them to be dead puppets. Besides, if these people were dead puppets, how could they pass the inspection of the experts of the Bamboo Palace and enter Jishui City? You don't know this. These people aren't dead puppets but living puppets. The so-called living puppets refer to the puppets refined from living people. The living puppet technique is a lost puppet technique. The rioters this time are all living puppets. Their breath is no different from a living person. That's why the Bamboo Palace didn't notice them when they sneaked into Jishui City. Even the Bamboo Emperor has never seen a living puppet with his own eyes. How could he know that there are so many puppets hidden among the cultivators who entered the city? It's hard to detect a real living puppet even if it's standing right in front of you. Of course, this batch of living puppets was forcibly refined using a secret technique. It wasn't refined through the regular way. All of the living puppets don't have primordial spirit or demon soul in their bodies. It's very simple to distinguish whether the cultivators in the city are human or puppet. You just need to see if there's primordial spirit or demon soul in their bodies. By the way, this old man doesn't have primordial spirit or demon soul in my body. Chi. Suddenly, the third elder's eyes turned blood red. He launched a violent attack, starting a massacre in the palace of the Cypress Star clan. His eyes were cold and heartless, but deep in his heart, there was a deep sorrow. He was also a living puppet refined by Wan Changkong. At the moment when he was killed, the green-eyed youth still couldn't believe that his family's old ancestor would suddenly make a move and kill the Cypress Star clan. All the dead Cypress Star clan members looked at the third elder in disbelief before they died. They didn't believe that the old ancestor whom they respected and admired would actually wield a butcher's knife against them. The third elder's heart was bleeding. He actually slaughtered his own clansmen with his own hands. This generation's Cypress Star young master was one of his favorite juniors. But at this moment he couldn't control his own body and blasted the Cypress Star young master into powder. Among the Cypress Star clan members here, several of them were his direct descendants. They were connected by blood, and all of them died in his hands. Among these clansmen, there was even one who was the grandson of his benefactor, but he was also killed by him. Kill. All the clansmen died in his hands. Wan Changkong. The third elder couldn't wait to tear the traitor who controlled him into pieces, but he couldn't control his own body at all. He raised his hand to destroy the formation light of the entire palace. With boundless hatred in his heart, he followed the clansmen of the Baili clan outside the palace and started a massacre in Jishui City. The first palace of Bamboo Palace, Hengzhou Palace. The vice palace master of Hengzhou Palace joined forces and massacred the entire Hengzhou Palace. They were all Wan Changkong's living puppets. The second palace of Bamboo Palace, Scarlet Bamboo Palace. This palace was attacked by 13 Void Refinement Realm Tree clan members, and blood flowed like a river. There were also the third, fourth, and fifth palaces. When the Bamboo Emperor stood in the sky above Jishui City, he was deeply shocked by the scene in front of him. He didn't know how to solve this chaos. Who was the enemy? Who was the friend? No one knew. No one knew whose conspiracy this chaos was. Blood flowed like a river in every palace of Bamboo Palace. The forces of Jishui City fought against each other. More and more people suddenly went crazy and killed their own clansmen. This chaos started from Jishui City and spread to the entire my country. The Bamboo Emperor's sound transmission jade kept ringing. It was the distress signal from the cultivation cities and the forces of the Tree clan in my country. In the northern region of my country, in a restaurant in the Heavenly Tree City, the Void Inquiry Stage City Lord of this city was originally drinking and chatting with a few of his good friends. All of a sudden his eyes turned blood red. He took out his magic treasure and directly hit the top of the head of one of his good friends, killing him. After that, the city lord seemed to have gone mad and started a massacre in the Heavenly Tree City. At the same time, Tens of thousands of cultivators in the Heavenly Tree City went crazy and killed people everywhere. No one knew that when the city lord of the Heavenly Tree City killed his friend, even though his expression was cold and merciless, his heart was filled with grief and indignation. Wan Chongkong, you and I are irreconcilable enemies. I won't rest until one of us is dead. Ah. In the western region of my country, in the Wood Creation clan, Old Man Zaomu, who had a void-pierced stage cultivation base, was teaching his disciples the art of weapon refinement. His tone was kind and amiable. He was a famous master of weapon refinement in the Eastern Tree Sea. He had always been known to treat people with respect and humility. However, at a certain moment his eyes suddenly turned blood red and he lost all of his rationality. He waved his butcher knife and killed all of his disciples one by one. After that, tens of thousands of members of the Wood Creation clan went crazy at the same time. They followed Old Man Zaomu and started a massacre in the clan. Then he waved his butcher knife at the other members of the Tree clan. No one knew that the moment Old Man Zaomu killed his beloved disciple, he felt as if his heart was being sliced into pieces. Wan Chongkong, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. In the eastern region of my country, a palace lord of the Bamboo Palace was patrolling the eastern region with his subordinates to meet the leaders of the 7 tree clans. He had an absolute void stage cultivation base, and had always been loyal to the Bamboo Palace. He was a cultivator of the righteous path, and had never killed the innocent. However, all of a sudden, his eyes turned blood red and he lost all of his rationality. Then he started killing the divine envoys and revered elders of the Bamboo Palace behind him. He even self-detonated his physical body and killed all the leaders of the 7 tree clans, perishing together with them. Among the leaders of the 7 tree clans, one of them was his master, Great Heaven City, Extreme Wood City, Windleaf Clan. Each of the tree clans in each of the cultivation cities sent a shocking message to the Bamboo Sovereign through telepathy. It was not just Jishui City. The entire my country was in turmoil. At this moment, there were nearly 10 million cultivators in my country who went crazy and started a massacre at the same time. Elders, where are you? Come and see me at once. Follow me to quell the chaos in my... The Bamboo Sovereign shouted loudly in the sky above Jishui City. His voice was like a thunderclap that contained shocking anger. It was unknown how many cultivators of the Bamboo Palace had died in the chaos in my today. The Bamboo Sovereign swore that if he found out who was the one who planned this, he would certainly tear that person into 1,000 pieces. The 6th Elder and the 8th Elder were still in the Bamboo world. Now there were only 6 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders in Jishui City whom he could trust. The Bamboo Sovereign gave an order, and his voice spread across the entire city. 6 rays of light rushed into the sky at the same time, and turned into 6 Void Fragmentation Realm Old Men. They stood in front of the Bamboo Sovereign. These 6 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders naturally included the 3rd Elder, who had been reduced to a living puppet. 6 Elders, follow me to quell this chaos. I want to find the mastermind behind this chaos and tear that person into 1,000 pieces. As soon as the Bamboo Sovereign gave his order, the Great Elder, the 5th Elder and the 7th Elder immediately voiced their agreement. Their eyes were filled with anger. They wished they could find the mastermind behind this chaos. However, the other 3 Void Fragmentation Realm Elders wore a blank expression. They were not moved by the Bamboo Sovereign's order at all. Even the 2nd Elder and 3rd Elder, who had always obeyed the Bamboo Emperor, sneered as they looked at the Bamboo Emperor. And they spoke with slight disdain. Your Majesty, Bamboo Sovereign, things have already come to this. Do you still not know who the mastermind behind this chaos is? Boom, boom, boom. 11 rays of silver light suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and shot towards the Bamboo Sovereign's back. The attack appeared without any warning. As soon as the 11 silver light pillars appeared, they immediately dispersed into silver threads that filled the sky. An extreme sense of danger suddenly rose in the Bamboo Sovereign's heart. The Bamboo Sovereign suddenly turned around and pointed his finger. Countless golden bamboo leaves appeared in the sky and condensed into a giant golden palm, slapping towards the silver threads that filled the sky. A single slap dispersed the silver threads that filled the sky. However, at this moment, the 2nd Elder, the third elder and the fourth elder, the three void fragmentation realm old monsters suddenly attacked at the same time. They attacked the bamboo sovereign's back with strong killing intent. Purple axe, silver bell, treasure tree. The three magic treasures launched a sneak attack when the bamboo sovereign was exhausted. At this moment, the bamboo sovereign was busy defending against the silver threads that filled the sky. How could he expect that the second elder and the others would join hands to launch a sneak attack? The three attacks hit the bamboo sovereign's back at the same time, causing serious damage to his abdomen and back, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. The bamboo sovereign's eyes were filled with shock and anger. He suddenly turned around and shot out countless golden lights from his finger, shattering the three magic treasures. He then stared at the second elder and the others furiously. The bamboo sovereign had refined a mysterious immortal treasure armor to protect his body. Moreover, he was a body cultivator at the first heavenly layer of the Nirvana realm. Even if he was ambushed in a hurry, it was impossible for him to be killed by three cultivators at the first and second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His injuries were not light, but it was still within the range that he could suppress. His eyes were filled with boundless anger. This anger was not because of his injuries, but because he was betrayed by his most trusted subordinates. How dare you all betray me? Why? Give me a reason. Reason. There is only one reason. We are the living slaves of Lord Wan Chongkong. As long as he gives the order, we can take action at any time and destroy the bamboo hall. The second elder and the other two void fragmentation realm old monsters answered in a stupefied manner. At the same time when the three of them spoke, the illusory figures of 11 silver-haired old men appeared in the sky one after another. Each of them stood high up in the sky. Each of these 11 people had a cultivation base at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Their aura force was terrifying. The 11 of them stood high up in the sky. Their aura force was not much weaker than the bamboo sovereigns. Your Majesty Bamboo Sovereign, it has been 10,000 years since we last met, right? Do you still remember me? The 11 silver-haired old men asked coldly. It's you, Wan Chongkong. You are the mastermind behind Mu Ye's chaos today. The bamboo sovereign roared furiously. The mastermind this time isn't Wan Chongkong. It's me. The bamboo hall and the vine hall have been enemies for generations. Today, I have been planning to destroy the bamboo hall for a long time. 7 void fragmentation realm experts suddenly appeared in the sky one after another. Among the 7 of them, the leader was wearing wrought tan armor. His body was flowing with the aura force of the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. He was a middle-aged man with a dignified appearance. His eyes were flashing with a strange purple light. He was the Vine Sovereign. Vine Sovereign, it's you. The bamboo sovereign's eyes narrowed. The anger on his face gradually faded and was replaced by a solemn expression. If Wan Chongkong was the only one who intervened today, he still had a way to calm the chaos. However, if the Vine Sovereign was the one who intervened today, the bamboo hall would be in chaos. Everyone would be betrayed, and they would not be able to resist the Vine Hall. Today, the bamboo hall would probably face a great calamity. Vine Sovereign, you and I are both cultivators of the tree world. Even if the two halls have been enemies for generations, there is no need for us to go so far as to destroy the entire hall, right? The bamboo sovereign said while gritting his teeth. Cut the crap. The reason why I came here is to trample on the flat bamboo hall in the East Sea. From today onwards, there will no longer be a bamboo hall or a bamboo sovereign in the tree world. Kill. The Vine Sovereign's eyes were filled with killing intent. His plan today could be said to be perfect. The bamboo sovereign could not do anything alone. He would certainly die. The bamboo hall would certainly be destroyed. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.